A ball in Double-A, 23 years old. You see his numbers: 8-3, 17 start of this season. An ERA right at 4, 99 innings pitched, 99 hits. And the manager of the Atlanta Braves really loves him. Keith?
Well, the Brave defense, brought to you by Budweiser, sets up like this on a day game. You have some flip arounds. You got a left-hand pitcher out there, so Julio Franco at first. Mark DeRosa gets to start again at second. For Cal at short. Castilla at third. Darren Bragg starts in left. Andrew Jones in center. Sheffield in right. And Henry Blanco behind the plate.
And for the New York Mets of Art Howe, a much better game defensively yesterday as opposed to the 5 errors on Friday night. And yet the same result, a loss. The Mets, in fact, have lost 6 in a row to Atlanta. Reyes, one who made a couple of head-turning plays yesterday at shortstop. And he was 2 for 5. He is 2 out of 14 in the series. And Ramirez, first pitch of the afternoon with the infield pinching in at the corners, is high for ball 1. Jeff Duncan next, and then Roger Cedeno. Overall, the Mets have lost 9 of their last 10 games. Facing a tough rookie lefty today, who at one point, Tom, had won 7 consecutive games. His last start against the Cubs did not go well.
Yeah, it was a real bump in the road right prior to the All-Star break. The Cubs clubbed him around pretty much. They give up 7 earned runs or whatever it was in 3+ innings pitched.
Yep, on 9 hits.
But prior to that, he was spectacular. And he'll obviously try to get back on track today. Amazing story. I mean, a kid at A-ball Double-A and now pitching in the big leagues and pitching well.
For call, throws it away and almost into the Atlanta Braves dugout along the first base side. The only thing that prevented that from sailing into the dugout amidst the players was that side fence.
Well, the whole problem is that he gets off balance here, and it's a routine ground ball. And I don't like guys. Gary Templeton used to do this when he was at St. Louis. There's no need to come in and charge the ball that hard and be off balance. You know you got a fast runner. You can come in and charge the ball, but be collected. He threw that ball away because he was throwing it as if it was in the hole. See a lot of that today.
An error on the shortstop. Certainly hustling the throw, knowing that it was Reyes in mind, but a wild toss by Fricall. And that brings up Jeff Duncan.
When we were talking the other day that we want to see Duncan swing the bat a little more, but this is a situation where you can possibly bunt. Lefty against lefty. He likes to push the ball down the first base line. He's got good speed, Jeff Duncan. And it looks like Ramirez is throwing pretty hard, Tom.
Still, it'll be a good test for Duncan. I mean, you know, they want him to have at bats. And here he is against a left-hander. Said, you're in there, kid. We're going to see if you can play. You know, here's a young kid out of the minor leagues talking about Ramirez as good stuff. Bobby Cox absolutely adores this kid, and who wouldn't? You got a guy making the jump from A-ball Double-A to the big leagues, and you can almost say the same thing about Duncan. He's just zipped right by AAA baseball.
Duncan has not indicated a bunt yet. 1 ball and 1 strike. Reyes with a theft yesterday has 3 stolen bases, and that's off the corner. It's 2-1.
Well, he's only got 38 walks in 99 innings. That is, I have always looked in the past as a hitter that if someone had 100 innings pitched and 50 walks, I would get, if I could string out a 5-6 pitch at bat, I would get 2 or 3 pitches to hit. But he's below that average.
He's a control pitcher. Not there for him there. Yep, 3 balls and 1 strike, and he's only struck out 61 guys in 99 innings. And you talk about his command, his ability to throw strikes. He's not going to blow hitters away, although the fastball will hit the low 90s. But another reason Bobby Cox and Leo Mazzoni adore him is that more often than not, he's throwing strike 1. He gets ahead. He gets the fly ball out. So that's down and in. He does walk a man here. He puts on Duncan. So an error and a walk. And the Mets have 2 on with nobody out in front of Roger Cedeno. Keith, he's hitting 3rd today.
Well, I talked to Art Howe in the clubhouse, and he just said, look, with all the injuries, I'm just putting all my speed in the top of the order. Hope they can get on base. The first 2 have. And make something happen here.
Now, as I was in the clubhouse, I saw Art bring Roger into the manager's office and close the door a couple of hours before the game. Fly to dead away center. This is hit pretty well. Andrew Jones backing up, has a good look at it. Making the catch there. Reyes will tag up and move into 3rd base. Well struck by Cedeno, just not deep enough, and they're on the corners with 1 away. Now, I did not know what they talked about, but it might have been something along the lines of what Keith was talking about. Just, if you do get on, you got to start running.
Well, it's unusual for him to hit the number 3 spot, and I agree with Art House thinking here. Put the speed up at the top of the lineup. Get Reyes up there. Get Duncan up there. Get Cedeno up there. And maybe you can ignite something. Get something going. If you hit the ball in center field, it doesn't go over the fence. Pretty much, if you get it above a line drive, you're out. That guy in center field is as good as they get.
Here's Ty Wigginton.
Oh, no.
And a pickoff. Duncan in a rundown. Reyes over at third base. He's hesitating. He's about halfway down the line. The tag, and he got him. Back into third. Oh, my goodness. What a disastrous play by the Mets. Completely messing up what was a promising inning on the base paths. Duncan cut down in the rundown, and Reyes strayed too far toward home plate, and he was out at third.
This is an unbelievable play. I don't think I've ever seen it before like this. And this is men against boys right here. The two boys got picked off at first and third.
Stand-up comic, movie star, now boxer, John Leguizamo joins us live.
And want to save big bucks on everything from car insurance to taxes? We'll share our money-saving tips.
And a little girl talk with J-Lo, my one-on-one with Jenny from the block, tomorrow on the WB11 Morning News.
Hey kids, you'll not want to miss the Mets game on Saturday, August 2nd. It's Build-A-Bear Workshop Day. The first 12,000 kids 12 and under attending the 1:20 p.m. game against the Cardinals will receive an exclusive Shea Bear from Build-A-Bear Workshop. For your tickets, stop by Shea Stadium or Keyspan Park. Visit a Mets clubhouse shop. Log on to Mets.com or call 718-507-TIXX.
The rookies Reyes and Duncan cut down on the base pass. Someone's going to have to explain to us what happened here.
Well, watch Reyes up here at top of your screen. Good job by Franco. Now he's just shuffling down the line here. He's halfway down the line. He can't get caught in nowhere's land. You have to make a point. Now, one good thing was done in that rundown was that Franco really ran Duncan hard towards second base and closed the gap. Now, I made a similar mistake when I was younger in St. Louis as a young kid, and I did the exact same thing that Jose Reyes did. I got caught right in the middle, and I was never more embarrassed. So these are just growing pains.
Did you ever do it again?
No. Fortunately, I was never in that situation again.
We've talked about this, and we talked about Jose Reyes being at the big league level. And you can say the same thing right now, exactly the same thing for Jeff Duncan. Learning at the big league level, and that's what they're doing, learning. And the point Keith Hernandez just made, no, I never made the mistake again. That's the difference what these young kids are doing. They're learning from those mistakes, hopefully learning from those mistakes at the big league level so you don't make them again. They'll get on that plane tonight, and they'll fly up to Philadelphia. And those two kids should be sitting there talking to each other going, what did we do wrong on that play? How do we get into that situation?
Well, that looked horrendous. A fly ball to Gonzalez. Raul Gonzalez making a catch. Call is out. The starting lineups now brought to you by your Tri-State Quality Ford dealers. And the rest of the 9 for Bobby Cox. Andrew Jones with his 24th home run yesterday. Julio Franco just tears up Al Leiter. One of the big reasons he's in the lineup today. And the veteran getting back on the hill for the first time since June 29th, Tom.
Well, 8 and 5, 5.5 earned run average for him. And his bread and butter, of course, that cutter that comes up and in. And you saw that last pitch of DeRosa. That's what has made Al Leiter an outstanding pitcher. And he was able to do that. I think he had a lot of trouble with his knee. He had fluid drained off his knee. On his right knee, his landing knee, and it was very unstable. And it really affected, as we said in our opening, really affected his control. That is absolutely the perfect Al Leiter pitch right there.
Popped up weakly to Ty Wigginton, so they're 2 gone.
And our Budweiser defense for the Mets sets up with Clark at first, McEwing at second, Reyes at short, Wigginton third. The outfield is Gonzalez, Duncan, Cedeno, and Phillips behind the plate.
Jorge Velandia has been sent back to Norfolk to make room for Al Leiter, who has a first inning earned run average of 8.47. He's gotten to the first 2 hitters, and for Colin DeRosa, but now he has to deal with Sheffield. He's hitting .330, and the first pitch is inside for ball 1. Mets baseball is being brought to you by Budweiser. The best things in life are the things that are true. Budweiser. Sheffield 0 for 4 yesterday. Pops a foul on a play. 1 ball, 1 strike. You know, I think one of the great fears that I have about a full-scale rebuilding process, when double mistakes on the bases, something like that, occur, when they come back to the dugout, who do they have to talk to? If you're going to basically go with youth up and down the lineup and in the dugout, you have to rely on veterans once in a while to pull you aside and set you straight. As Sheffield pops this one into foul territory. Wigginton looking for room but can't reach it.
Well, you've got to rely on your manager and coaches for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, those are the guys who can teach you how to play. And don't say that, boy, those are awful mistakes. And that's, for a young player, the best thing that can happen are making mistakes. The worst thing that can happen is not learning from them.
Right.
And the good player never makes that mistake again. The player that will frustrate you and drive you crazy if you're an owner or a manager or a coach or a teammate, when you have players that continue to make the same kind of mistakes over and over and over again, they never learn. Mistakes are great. I mean, if you didn't make mistakes, this game would be a cakewalk, wouldn't it? But how do you reach a level of a Hernandez or anybody else? You learn from those mistakes, never make them again. That's what the old crusty veteran brings to the table.
Right, and that's something that this team doesn't have. I mean, when I made that mistake, Lou Brock pulled me aside. Now, there's no Lou Brock on this team.
That's what I mean.
Base stealer extraordinaire.
Right.
Base runner, great base runner. Lou pulled me aside because there was a veterans on this team, but there's no one there, so it has to be one of the coaches.
Leiter strikes out Gary Sheffield with a high one, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Al Leiter in his return. No scores. We go to the top half of the second inning. Ty Wigginton to lead things off, and this is a look inside the Met dugout. Baylor and Pettis, the coaches, trying to smooth out some rough edges.
Well, Pettis was a great base stealer in his day and a good base runner, so he would be the one. And Don Baylor, of course, is very knowledgeable. You see Don coming over there and having a chat. So learn as you go along.
That's right. Key word, learn from your mistakes. And the sooner you learn from them, the better off you are.
Hammer to right, but Sheffield backs up to make the catch, basket style for the out. And I realize, coming from players like that who achieve something in the major leagues, who are successful big leaguers, those are the first guys who ought to be saying something to Jose and to Jeff. But then at some point, you want to also hear some reaffirmation from a teammate, a current teammate, a veteran guy who's also had some success. He might have a different take on it too. Jason Phillips hitting .315 with 5 home runs, 1 down, bases empty here.
Could be a Tony Clark. You talk about a veteran guy, doesn't have to be a guy hitting .350. Could be a guy that people respect in the clubhouse. All that gets ironed out in the middle of the clubhouse, obviously.
Andrew Jones one-hands it, 2 gone.
The good thing, the best leaders on a club, they don't necessarily have to talk a lot, but they lead by example, and they also lead by not accepting certain things that go on the field or in the dugout. There are certain ways to be a professional, and just like Keith was talking about Lou Brock, I mean, he's a consummate professional. There is a way to play the game. I mean, that's really what they're teaching you about mistakes, but there's a way to approach your business in a very professional manner. And you got to learn. I mean, everybody hates to make mistakes. But if you look at them and say, that's the best thing that could possibly happen to me when I'm 20 or when I'm 24 years old and just getting my feet wet in the big leagues, then you've got a chance to start climbing up the ladder and become a good player.
Bounding ball up the middle for DeRosa. He sets down Raul Gonzalez. Almost a wild toss, but he got it there. 1-2-3 go the Mets. Nothing here in the middle of inning number 2.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of Sterling Mets and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Sterling Mets. That's all, folks.
Thank you.
You got it in before the first pitch, though.
You did.
That's right.
And in Broadcasting 101, get it in before the pitch, babe. That's all we need.
Doesn't make any difference how many. That's all, folks, there are.
Andrew Jones lifting a fly ball to straightaway center field. Duncan using the glove to shade his eyes, makes the catch. So a good start for Leiter. 4 up, 4 down. Here's your chance to make your big league dreams come true. Suit up and play with Mets all-time greats at the official New York Mets fantasy camp. Spend 5 days, 4 nights at the Mets spring training facility in Port St. Lucie, Florida. You'll take the field in your very own personalized Mets uniform and be coached by the pros. Secure your place in the lineup today. Call 718-559-3035 or log on to Mets.com. See that? Just in time for the next pitch. In there for a strike on Julio Franco.
You're a professional.
Well, you are too. I enjoyed the pace and the flow of the read, and it had a mellifluous sort of a
Excuse me?
tone to it.
And an antebellum taste tang to it, didn't it?
I've been called a lot of things, but I'm mellifluous.
If you can't spell it, you can't use it. You know what I mean?
Exactly right. Franco against Leiter has been cooking 12 out of 24 in his career with 2 home runs. So you know Leiter's feeling pretty good if he can get him right here. Foul tip back toward the screen. 1-2.
It looks like Al Leiter, the Al Leiter that we would expect out there. He was really troubled by that right knee, the landing knee. He was getting behind it and cutting everything off, and his cutter was not getting into the right-handers, and control was bad. I mean, you name it. All the things that can go wrong for a pitcher were going wrong with him. We're going wrong with him. I talked to him before the game, how he feels. I feel 100%. My leg feels fine, and watch him here a couple innings. He's got pop on the ball, control. The first hitter in this inning, Andrew Jones, got the cutter in, jammed him. Had a good swing at it, got extended, boom, and the cutter came up the bat. And a high lazy fly to center field. There it is right there. There's the other cut. That's another cutter right up and into those right-handed hitters. And it looks like the quote-unquote normal Al Leiter that we come to expect to see.
You can hear his pitches, especially when he tosses that cutter inside. You can actually hear them today. And when he's throwing the ball real well and hard, it does sound a little bit different. Those seams cut through the air.
Well, he's had some days off, and he's had a chance to regather his strength.
Now, that situation right there, if you're a pitcher or you are a hitter, it's a situation where it's a hitter's count, and he does not get to the ball. He's late. That ball fouled off to the right side. Now, if you're a pitcher, that tells you something, because the hitter's sitting right on that fastball and did not get to it. If you're a hitter, you know that you got to speed it up a little bit. This is the cat and mouse game.
The last pitch was 93, and this one he gets Franco to foul tip into the mitt for a strikeout. Franco turned around and asked James Hoy, the umpire, was it a strike?
That's a great pitch, because you know what Franco's doing is protecting against the cutter inside. Now went with that two-seamer on the outside corner, and he was already gone. He was so far out in front of it, and he couldn't hold up enough to wait to get to the ball on the outside part of the plate.
And you know that Al talked earlier in the year how he wanted to work both sides of the plate, but he was working it primarily with that slow curveball. And, Steve Carlton worked both sides of the plate against right-handers, but that was the fastball in the outside corner, knee high.
But with stuff, yeah.
Yep, and not the slider on the outside corner. Carlton pounded that slider in and fastballed you away.
I totally agree with you, but the way Al was using his breaking ball on the outside part of the plate just wasn't very efficient. It wasn't useful. There was nothing hard out there. I'm talking about Al, the left-hander to right-handed hitter.
Right.
And he had that slider that he was using on the outside corner of the plate to the right-handers. And it's really a strikeout pitch, not a pitch that you would throw in the middle of a count. It's someplace when you've got a runner at third and you've got one out, and you've got to get to 2 strikes. And you need a strikeout, and you don't want the ball put in play, and you set it up with that cutter on the inside part of the plate, and then drop that hard slider on the outside corner. That's the use of that pitch.
Right.
He was using it in the middle of count, 1-1, to get a second strike sometimes. He doesn't have to do that. His stuff is too good to waste that pitch.
Right.
That is so needed in a specific potential run-scoring situation.
And I think that Al got away with it early because it was something new the hitters hadn't seen, and he got around the league a few times, and hitters got a little bit wise to it because it wasn't really a great breaking ball. He's throwing hard.
He is, and he just whipped Vinny Castilla back-to-back strikeouts in that inning. He has 3 in the ball game. He has retired all 6 Braves he has seen so far.
Hey kids, come spend your summer nights at Shea. Don't miss Tom Glavine Bobblehead Night on Saturday, July 26th. See the Mets battle the Cincinnati Reds at 7:10 p.m. The first 12,000 kids 12 and under will receive a Tom Glavine bobblehead, courtesy of State Farm Insurance. For your tickets, call 718-507-TIXX or log on to Mets.com.
Hot and sunny in Atlanta. No score after 2 innings as we bring you the New York Hospital of Queens injury update. And Cliff Floyd is listed as day-to-day with a couple of different injuries, the right knee barking at him, the right Achilles, that may require surgery. There has been some speculation. Right now, just speculation that Floyd may shut it down and go under the knife if, in fact, that has to be done, which would, of course, mean he'd be lost for the rest of the season. But right now, simply day-to-day, that's the official word. And the Mets about to head to Philadelphia and Montreal, artificial surface parks, which just really make that Achilles sore. You may not see much of Cliff Floyd the rest of the week. Here's Tony Clark playing first base today. He's hitting .221 with 10 home runs. Rough day yesterday. He struck out 4 times. And he takes it low.
Well, Tony against left-handers has the better average, less power. 260 against left-handers with 2 home runs. On the other side, against right-handers, 202 with 8 home runs.
So Jason Phillips catching today. And Tony at first base as he takes that one on the outside corner for a strike. And you can see Ramirez when he keeps the ball down, Tom. And that's one of the things that Bobby Cox loves so much about him. Not only in the strike zone, but they're tough strikes to hit.
Real good location. He does not give in. He works quickly, keeps his defense in the ball game. Gets the ball back from the catcher, makes a couple of swipes with his feet. He's right back on there, getting his sign from his catcher, Henry Blanco.
3-1 pitch, fouled off to the right. Good slider, cutter, and changeup. He'll throw about 93.
Trying to make a living out there on that outside corner. If you're going to beat me, you're going to have to go back out there, and then every once in a while he will come inside, keep you honest.
He's 23 years old. Won't be 24 till the season's over, November. He's a young kid, another young arm that these Braves seem to always find. I like the way he's throwing right now.
Oh, it's terrific. He says changes speeds, changes. He's got a couple different fastballs, it looks like at 4-seam and then a 2-seam. Throws them a little bit different movement. I mean, this is A-ball, AA last year. Now he's in the big leagues.
Absolutely. I'm impressed. That was a high fastball over the middle. And he paid.
Hammered into left field. A clean single for Tony Clark, the first hit for the Mets today. And Joe McEwing up next. Ramirez was found in Carson, California. That was fat.
Well, that's it. Remember we're talking about you on that outside corner, and every once in a while I go in. You're going to go in there, get it in there. If you don't, hitter's going to capitalize on that mistake. And he left that ball in the inner half.
Right.
And Clark collapsed his arms a little bit. 2 strikes, make contact, hit it sharply left field. And he'll go in there. Leo Mazzoni, the pitching coach, say, listen, if you're going to go in there, go in there. Don't go in there on the plate. If you're going to either be on the inside part of the plate, and if you're going to miss, you're going to miss in toward the hitter. Don't miss out over the plate. And that's just basic rule of pitching.
The 1-0 to McEwing, taken up top for a ball. The Mets have seen this rookie 3 times already, and Ramirez has been too good. An ERA of 3, and he's 2-0 against New York. He held the Mets to 4 hits 11 days ago at Shea. He followed that with his worst outing of the season, a 7-3 loss to the Cubs at Wrigley. The one that Tom talked about. He was banged around pretty good. Cut on and missed, 2-1.
The wind was blowing out. Anybody can get banged around at Wrigley. Even you, Tom. It's no fun either way. If the wind blowing in, it's no fun for the hitter. If it's blowing out, it's obviously no fun for the pitcher at Wrigley.
Fergie didn't get bounced around at Wrigley.
No, is that incredible?
Yeah. Fergie Jenkins, Hall of Fame pitcher. Great Chicago Cub. Had great, immaculate control and a deadly sinker. And you had to work to get the ball in the air. He figured out Wrigley Field. Going to get it hit on the ground.
He always gave up home runs because he had to.
Oh, of course.
You can't escape.
Yeah.
You can't escape Wrigley, but they never got hurt with it. Much like Catfish Hunter, it's solo home runs. It didn't mean anything.
Ramirez 2-2 pitch taken outside. Of course, the knee-high grass that they have at Wrigley Field, where entire families have been relocated after years of being missing.
Lost.
Inside the grass there at Wrigley. It's kind of like the grass they've got there at the British Open.
That's true. You know, that Wrigley Field, they found a couple of antebellum homes in those grasses. Did you know that?
6, 7-bedroom homes. Yeah, beautiful places. And another base hit right through the 5-hole. A single for Joe McEwing, and it's back-to-back base hits as Clark moves up to second.
Another pitch up, Keith.
Well, we're going to see this again.
There it is. There they are.
This is Athens, Georgia.
Yeah, that's actually Dave O'Brien's house on the outskirts of Atlanta.
Oh, I wish. Yeah.
And this is his hobby right here. And this is Keith. Keith has this little cottage down by the seashore.
He's done some painting. He's had the gold leaf out, and that's downtown Atlanta. The homes we were showing you, about an hour and a half away from the city of Atlanta.
You know, you and I were talking yesterday, Keith, or maybe it was Friday, how this, in the last 20 years, how Atlanta has changed. You don't realize it. We started coming here, I did, 67 or whatever, and how the architecture and office buildings and expansion and how much bigger it is.
Al got a bunt down, and a good one.
Real good bunt. Castilla has to field and throw him out. Al Leiter, who is 0 for 27 at the plate and has had trouble getting down bunts, did his job there, and the runners move up to second and third. Good day all around so far for Leiter.
Well, textbook. Get the bat head up above the ball, make the third baseman field it, draw him away from third base. Oh, very good, Al.
Bat level out in front.
Yeah, very good. Run it hard enough to get it by the pitcher and make Castilla commit to come in and get it. Get your 2 men in scoring position. RISP.
A bit surprised on the defense of the Braves this early in the third inning, in at the corners. I can see third base, but not first base. A base hit right here with the drawn in corners. It opens those holes up. Near down 2 runs instead of 1.
And Reyes has found those holes with men in scoring position. This is the spot where the rookie has excelled. He's hitting .375 with runners in scoring position, and he does it again. Inside the line, that's going to bring in 2. Clark scores. McEwing is scoring. And into second base with a 2-run double, Jose Reyes, give him 22 RBIs. And it is 2-0 the Mets.
It's his 6th double of the season. Gets a, well, fastball in, but belt high and up. And Reyes stays level with his bat right-handed. And that's a bullet down the left field line, and that's just good hitting right there.
One of the things that the Mets have done in this inning, they've gotten 3 pitches to hit, and they've hit the ball on the button 3 times. It was a high fastball to Clark that he singled on. Ramirez made another bad pitch to McEwing up. Boom, he got a base hit. And you're talking about, David, the number 5 hole. There, Reyes, a pitch up and out over the plate. Boom, hit right on the button.
All right-hand hitters.
Yep.
And that's where
if he's missing,
Ramirez has struggled. The right-handers are hitting .280 against him with 9 home runs.
And if you make a mistake up there, he has not missed inside, up and in yet to a right-handed hitter.
So Reyes makes up for his base running mistake in the first inning. Duncan also made one. There goes Reyes. Here's the throw by Blanco, and not in time. Reyes steals his 4th of the year. I think we're going to see a lot of that in the years to come. He's not bashful at all about going second or third.
Well, Blanco can throw, and I think Castilla, third base, did not let the ball come to him. Got a good jump. You got the left-hander, so you got the catcher has to play right out in front of him. And Blanco had to, Castilla had to bring the ball back to the bag, and just a stolen base, number 4 for Reyes. Here it is again.
Barely safe, and a play like this, boy, you're in scoring position already, you better make it.
Well, the infield is in for Atlanta. A strike to Duncan, who all he has to do now is lift a fly ball deep enough. He can make it out and bring in another run. But the infield creeps in for Bobby Cox to cut down this run at the plate.
Well, Duncan right there just took a 2-0 fastball inside corner. Boy, that is just where you just need a fly ball here. And then he takes out, he went in and out on him. Had the advantage 2-0, and now he's giving it back.
See, this is what exactly you were talking about before, David, about a young player. Now, if Keith Hernandez is sitting on the bench, so what are you doing 2-0? You're only looking for a minimum, and you get that. You'd be looking in middle in, and you get that piece of information passed along to the young hitter right off the bat. He missed his pitch to hit, didn't he? Keith, your point.
Yes, I agree. And it would be if he said, "Well, I'm a table setter. I'm trying to get on base." I'd say, "No, it's not the situation for it.
Not that at bat.
Not with a runner on third, 1 out. You swing the bat.
Drive that run in. Make yourself some money.
I don't care if you have Lou Gehrig hitting behind you in the third hole.
Absolutely.
Don't look for a walk there. Get that runner in.
And I think that has more of an impact coming from a guy who's won an MVP, who's sitting next to you and is battling the same pitcher. than it does from anybody else. Here's Cedeno. He's flying to center, 0 for 1.
You know the other part of that too. Now this is the extension of it, and this is what makes great coaching and learning, etc. If the same thing happens in 3 weeks, Ed Duncan does the same thing, and you got a Hernandez, and he pulls him aside. Listen, I told you last 3 weeks ago Sunday in Atlanta about playing this way, and you're not doing it. Don't do this anymore. You got to learn from your mistakes.
Well, that mistake, perhaps not swinging at the pitch that he wanted, may have cost the Mets a run, but they get 2 in the inning and lead it 2-0.
MSG delivers sports talk on Talk of Our Town. The busy New York sports scene never stops buzzing. So tune in and get the latest news and views on Talk of Our Town, presented by Sims. The big issues, the tough topics. If it's happening in sports, we're talking about it. With special high-profile guests and in-depth discussion, Talk of Our Town keeps the focus on the teams, athletes, and stories that you want to hear about. Join Bill Daughtry and Bob Wischusen for Talk of Our Town, presented by Sims, only on MSG Network.
The Braves have been hotter than the weather down south, but the Mets trying to slow them up today. It is 2-0 New York. Al Leiter very sharp in his first couple of innings. As we give you a look at the out-of-town scores, brought to you by Lexus. They're underway in Florida. Milwaukee and Pittsburgh just getting started too. And leading off the inning will be Henry Blanco. Then it'll be Darren Bragg and Horacio Ramirez. Mike Mussina on the mound today for the New York Yankees. The Orioles, a lot of talk about Sidney Ponson being traded, as this one is fly deep down the left field line, but foul by Blanco. 1 ball and 1 strike. And in fact, there's been talk about these Atlanta Braves needing another starter. And maybe Ponson being that guy. He's got 12 wins for Baltimore, although there's also a lot of rumor that the Orioles are ready to make him a long-term offer and keep him there. He seems to be the most sought-after pitcher as far as the younger pitchers other teams might want.
Well, what pitching staff in today's game with the 30 teams doesn't need an extra starter?
Yeah. In past years, you'd think certainly not Atlanta. Fly ball Duncan will take it. But Reyes and Gonzalez both begged off, and they had a look of panic in their eyes for a second. But Duncan hauls it in. That's 7 straight retired by Leiter.
Well, the center fielder, the outfielder is the police cop, and the chief is the center fielder.
1 down for Darren Bragg, who's playing left field today. Chipper Jones out of the lineup with a sore left wrist. He aggravated that on Friday night. It really bothers him when batting right-handed, which of course he would have done today against Leiter, so he sits out for the 2nd straight day. So Bragg filling in for him. That was an injury that Chipper sustained back in May. A little line drive slicing into the outfield for a base hit. And Bragg becomes the first Atlanta Brave hitter to reach today off of Al Leiter. But back to Chipper Jones, and back to May 24 we go. Sliding, he injured that wrist. Stayed in the ball game. And he says it only bothers him from time to time, but it certainly did on this swing. On Friday, he flips the bat. That was late in the game. He came out of the game and has not returned since, as they continue to treat that. The Mets certainly don't mind him missing in action today. Bunt dropped down by Ramirez. Close play at second, and they got him. On an attempted sacrifice bunt by Ramirez. Great reactions by the Mets there, and Reyes really hung in on the play at second.
Well, this was good communication here. I think Wigginton here, we can't see from this angle, yelled second. And that's what it's all about. You see Leiter has his back to second base. He can't see. Wiggy saying second. Al, without hesitation, makes a perfect throw. Clean slide. That's just good hard baseball.
Now, right-hand pitcher doesn't even try to make that play, does he?
No, I think the same thing. No, it doesn't matter.
No, should be able to.
Should?
It's right in front of the mound. Doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, but so, as a pitcher also has a sense of timing. I mean, Al Leiter, he got some help from Wigginton, or he got some help from Jason Phillips. But you know the timing of that play. You know where the ball is hit. You got the luxury of being left-handed and having the runner right in front of you, so you know what kind of jump he's got. And the ball was bunted hard. It was a bad play by the Ramirez. I mean, he should have done a butcher boy, done something, try to bunt it by third baseman. Wigginton was right on top of him. Right. But as a pitcher, you know the timing of everything.
Knocked down, bobbled by Reyes, but into second in plenty of time to retire Horacio Ramirez. on the fielder's choice, and the side is retired. So Leiter gives up a hit, but nothing after that. It's 2-0 the Mets.
The charmed ones are feeling hot.
What is this, a brothel?
Charmed.
Tonight at 8, only on the WB11.
Hernandez, Dave O'Brien from Atlanta, about 95 degrees. As we give you a look at the Dodge trivia question for the day, who are the only 3 pitchers to start over 300 games for the Mets? That's our trivia question for the day. I think one man in our booth has to disqualify himself. One of those on the list in the Hall of Fame is Ty Wigginton. Steps to bat. He's 0 for 1 with a fly to right field. 2-0. The Mets in front, getting to Horacio Ramirez in the 3rd inning for a couple of hits. In fact, 3 hits and a big blow, a 2-run double by Jose Reyes. Wigginton also has had very good success against Atlanta in his young career. Before the fly out in inning number 2, 382 against Brave pitching. Jason Phillips and Raul Gonzalez will follow. The 1-1 is up high, 2 balls and a strike.
Now, if I'm sitting on the bench and watching my teammate hit here, Keith Wigginton, 2 balls and a strike, what are you thinking? You got to get yourself a pitch right here, drive it, get something middle in where he's made a mistake, drive it out of here.
It's a pitch that there's a fastball up. He got beat, but at least he aggressively went after it. 2-1's a hitter's count. I mean, a pitcher could throw you a breaking pitch or a changeup. It's kind of the swing count, but if he misses, now he's 3-1. So I always
then you've got double duty.
And then there's some pitchers that just try and think they can just throw it over the plate, a breaking ball over the plate or a changeup over the plate, and you'll take. Which you can't leave. A good hitters, you can't leave a breaking ball over the middle and hope to get ahead, or even the count.
Jason Phillips 0 for 1. He's flying to center, but he had 2 more hits yesterday, so he stays hot. Hitting .333 here in the month of July. Bases clean, 1 away. Into right, here comes Sheffield. He makes the catch. Gary Sheffield has kind of that casual nature of catching flies and loopers like this, kind of like Andrew Jones.
And let me tell you, the more and more I watch him play Sheffield, he is not a liability in the field. He is a plus in the outfield.
Absolutely.
He's a good defensive outfielder.
Smart outfielder, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, smart player.
He's made some plays against, he got a good arm. He's made some great plays against the wall. He's an accomplished outfielder defensively.
And he made a play on the warning track up against the fence on Friday night that a couple of years ago, that falls in for an extra base hit. There's no way he makes that catch. But he made it look pretty easy on Friday.
Yes.
I mean,
he's
right
worked
up
at
against the
it.
fence. He's worked very hard.
It just doesn't fall out of a tree for you.
Sheffield prides himself on being a complete player. I don't think you're ever going to call him a great outfielder. Maybe still a little bit too tentative on plays into the gap, but he's come a long, long way. Of course, he came up as a shortstop at 19 years old with Milwaukee and then moved to third base, a position he absolutely despised. Much happier in the outfield, and he's playing very well. And the hitting, well, that goes without saying. He's having an MVP kind of a year at the plate.
I tell you what, for 23 years old, I like this pitcher out here. He's not afraid to throw his fastball.
Sheffield calling off Andrew Jones, and he makes all 3 plays in the inning. So Ramirez gets 3 flyouts, and he settles down after a rocky 3rd inning. But the Mets lead it 2-0.
Join us on Friday, July 25th at Shea Stadium for Caribbean Night, presented by Golden Crust Bakery. See the Mets battle the Cincinnati Reds at 7:10 p.m. Make sure to arrive early for some special pregame entertainment. For your tickets, stop by Shea Stadium or Keyspan Park. Visit a Mets clubhouse shop, log on to Mets.com, or call 718-507-TIXX.
Well, back here in Atlanta, Mark DeRosa leading things off in the 4th inning. Trivia time from Dodge, who are the only 3 pitchers to start over 300 games for the Mets.
Well, Mr. Seaver would have to be there. I would think Dwight Gooden would have to be there. Doc?
Kuzman.
There we go.
395. Tom Seaver at the top of the list, but he DQ'd on that one. Reyes testing that arm in plenty of time to get DeRosa. I mean, by about 4 strides.
Would you like a little synopsis of those? How many were there? I mean, one by one, I can give them.
We don't have that kind of time, Tom. It's only about a 3-hour telecast.
I'll give them to you in antebellum fashion. And a brief summary.
Yeah.
You can see on that last play there, Dave, that they've been working with Reyes in the hole. He's been trying to get in front and working on his backhand. There he went into his hole, into the hole, and made the backhand play.
Trying to get him to stop lunging after the ball as Gary Sheffield's fans are here. Chefs. And the boy, were they loving it on Friday night when he went 5 for 5 with 2 home runs. Facing an old teammate here in Al Leiter, together in their Marlin days. Atlanta now with 143 home runs, tops in the majors. Now, if they end the season #1 in home runs, they're going to end an unusual streak in baseball. In each of the last 5 seasons, the team leading the majors in homers not only failed to make the playoffs, it didn't even have a winning record. The 2-0 to Sheffield. Inside under the hands.
Now there's the pitch that Tom was talking about. If you're going to come inside, you saw Sheffield had to move out of the way. He missed in, and it sends a message.
On the edge, 3-1.
One of the problems I think Tom Glavine has, Aaron Heilman has it. The staff of the Mets are not going in off the plate inside enough to say that they will pitch on both sides of the plate. I think it's definitely something that is hurting Tom Glavine. And I'm not talking about down and in. I'm talking about up and in, above the waist and in. So I will throw that ball up underneath your front elbow.
Even on somebody like Sheffield.
Absolutely.
Oh, gosh,
yes, absolutely. Even more so on. There's a great target. If you look at his left elbow from the center field camera, and it's a great target right there. Look at it. There, that's the place you want it right there. The second spot that I'm marking.
Leiter walks him after striking him out in the first inning. First free pass by Leiter.
You look at the sequence here of Al Leiter against one of the best hitters in baseball. Cutter misses. We're trying to throw it 1,000 miles an hour, trying to throw that 2,000. And that was a good pitch right there. There's a beauty there. Got the ball in. That was the pitch to hit.
That was the pitch to hit.
And he missed it.
3-1. We're talking about counts.
Absolutely. And he missed it. And as a pitcher, you say, okay, I got away with it. And then, but you can't be tentative about going back in there again. He went to 3-2 and then missed a up and away 3.
So you as a pitcher following through, so your body's in motion.
Sure.
You're able to see where your pitch is going.
Of course, absolutely.
Whether you made a bad pitch or not.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
You know before the ball gets there.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Do you know when it leaves your hand?
You want? Yeah. No. Well, you've pretty much when it leaves your hand. Sometimes you want to call timeout. Go hold it. Timeout.
Wrapped down the line by Andrew Jones. That one's stoked all the way to the fence. Sheffield heading into third. He'll be held up there. Jogging into second with a double, Andrew Jones. Against a pitcher he has not seen well in his career. Leiter has owned Andrew Jones at the plates, not this trip, second and third.
Well, he's hitting fourth today, and we said at the top of the show he has owned Andrew, and that was a cutter in. And Andrew, I tell you, it wasn't really that. It could have been in a little more, but that's a quick bat inside.
He was looking for that ball,
yes,
too.
He was and that's another thing that you don't know, the cat and mouse, is that there's contact. You can see that is in a good spot. He had to be looking in.
Look at his right elbow. See how it's collapsed in there?
And
that's to get his bat head to the ball.
Right. And a point in as far as the cat and mouse. Pitcher doesn't know if Andrew Jones was looking in. He's saying, God, that's my best cutter inside, and he pulled it. I can't get in on him.
He knows now.
That's part of the cat and mouse.
But a veteran should know now that he was looking in there.
Right.
So now it's the perfect term, cat and mouse. So the next time he faces him, do you go away or do you go farther in?
You tell me.
That's the fun. Right, there we go. So now it's like a tennis match. The ball goes back, back and over the net. And then what's coming next? Which way is he going to go with it?
Sheffield at third, Andrew Jones at second. 2-0 the Mets. That one fouled away by Julio Franco, who whiffed in the second inning. Remember now, Al Leiter has not pitched since June 29th.
If you get 5 innings plus out of him today, I think you'd be very happy. I think Art Howe and
6.
Vern Rule will be very happy. Well,
6.
You'd take 6, yes. But he hadn't pitched about a month. Hot Sunday afternoon, 37 years old. 5, okay. But this at-bat right here, we were talking about this before, Keith. We got 1 out, right? Runner on third, need a strikeout. Runner second, you need the strikeout. Take a look at our quote book. Pitching mechanics work from your ankles to your head. If there's an ailment that gives you an inability to put you in position to throw the ball, a proper mechanics consistent, it just can't be done. That's essentially what he is saying. That's what was the problem with his knee. But this is we get back to what we were talking about before was the cutter. This is the place for a strikeout for Al Leiter, to get to 2 strikes to Franco and get that cutter, that backdoor, the backdoor slider to the outside corner when he's looking inside. If he can get the count to 2 strikes, move it, get the ball way in, and get it to 3-2, then he can backdoor because he needs a strikeout with a runner on third base. That's going to bring Vern Rule out of the dugout.
I'm wondering what is going on here. They always bring these guards out here too. When the pitcher goes to the mound?
45 people stepped onto the field when Vern Rule came out. I mean, guards up and down the left and right field lines.
I thought, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I thought they were going to arrest Vern Rule.
Well, Vern hasn't done anything wrong, but he did come out onto the diamond and he had plenty of help. Now the home plate umpire James Hoy out there as well.
Wow, I've never seen this.
It's a very well protected field, Keith.
It's like the 7th game of the World Series at home, and with 1 out to go or 1 strike.
But
the whole field's covered.
Tom, why is he out there to count 2-1?
I don't know. I can't tell whether it was something mechanical he saw, or is he okay? Did he see? I don't know. That's one of the things we won't know until after the game.
Or is he? How's your knee? I mean, did they pick something up?
That's right. Exactly.
But if that were the case, they had to bring the umpire out as an injury visit.
That's true.
You know, you don't want to waste a visit. Franco takes it outside.
Or do they say, okay, you got 1 out. You got right-hander on the on-deck circle who, you have to work to walk him. Set yourself up a situation, get a double play ball. He's, most double plays hit into by the Atlanta Braves are by the guy in the on-deck circle.
Well, now they are going to put Franco on an intentional pass here. Art Howe putting up 4 fingers, so you're exactly right. Here comes Castilla, who won't take many free passes. That's an intentional walk of Franco. It does load up the bases here.
Well, it sets up the double play. You got behind 3-1. Castilla lifetime against Leiter is 182, 6 for 33 with only 1 home run. You want the double play here. He fell behind. It's something you didn't want to do. It's plan B. You would have rather had Al get the out.
Want you a strikeout?
Yes.
Yeah. You want a strikeout.
He fell behind 3-1.
Once you get behind, say heck with it. And I think the 2-1 pitch was ball 3 on purpose.
Well, now Leiter has to throw strikes. And there's a fly ball to center field, backing up Duncan. Still backing up. He has room, though, to make the catch. Sheffield will tag up. Here he comes. Andrew Jones advancing into third. The run is in on the sacrifice. 52 RBIs now for Vinny Castilla. And Atlanta's on the board. It's 2-1 the Mets.
Well, if there's anybody in the major leagues that swings at the first pitch more than Vinny Castilla, I don't know who it is. And it's incredible the amount of times that he'll go after the first pitch. Got a fastball, drove it to the warning track. Duncan, good play right into second base. And an RBI number 52 for Vinny Castilla. Here are the runners. Easily, Sheffield scores from third base. And Andrew Jones easily to second. Franco halfway to second base and retreats back to first.
And the proper throw by Duncan. No chance the ball hit that deep to throw out the runner at third. Prevent the runner on first from getting in scoring position.
So here's the light hitting Henry Blanco with men at first and third, 2 out. He's flied out 0 for 1. Very good defensive catcher, but does not give you a whole lot in the batter's box. The 2 walks for Leiter gives him 65 for the season. He backs away Blanco there at the belt with that fastball. So that's 65 walks now for the year for Leiter, which is tops on the staff. It's been a real issue for Al this year. Only 18% of his innings have been 3 up and 3 down. It's the second lowest number in the major leagues, ahead only of Damian Moss of the Giants. Fouled straight back. It's 2-1. Andrew Jones and Julio Franco will be 45 years old in August. They're on base. Julio Franco born in 1958.
And you were talking about getting 5 from Al, Tom. He was throwing in the low 93 the first 4 innings. And this whole entire inning right here, that's the first pitch that he's touched 90 miles an hour on. He's been down to 88. That's something they're probably, Vern Rule is watching closely. So good point, Tom.
And it is a hot day. We talked about it in the open. Hot day and Leiter coming off the disabled list. The combination along with the knee problems. You don't expect him to be out there too long.
You talk to the old timers and they say there's one way to get in shape for pitching, and that's by pitching. You can do all the machines and running whatever you want.
That's a fair ball. Andrew Jones will romp in. Franco heading into third. Holds there. Another double. Henry Blanco delivering a rare RBI, his 10th of the season, and that ties the game 2-2.
Well, Henry gets his 10th RBI here. Look at the pitch. Oh, fastball up and down the middle. It stayed level right down the line.
A little flat. Al Leiter a little flat there. Left the ball in the middle of the plate. Yeah, make a bad pitch. It's going to cost you. When Blanco coming in here and hitting under 200. Not a guy you would think in that lineup that is going to hurt you. But if you make a mistake to a big league hitter, and if it's like that up and out over the plate, it's going to cost you. So with 2 outs, number 8 hitter, they will walk him and load the bases for Horacio Ramirez.
So it's the second intentional pass of the inning. The third walk here in the 4th for Leiter. Now he set down the first 7 Braves he looked at today. With that walk of Bragg, 6 of the last 9 have reached. So Leiter may have just hit the wall. He catches a break. He gets Ramirez, the pitcher. That's the reason for the intentional walk of Bragg, but they are loaded up here. And again, he's forced to throw strikes.
And we got to remember, these Braves have a very potent offensive lineup. It's an entirely right-hand hitting lineup, except for Bragg and the switch hitting Furcal. They're 18-4. It leads the majors against left-handers.
Ramirez showing bunt, although the runner wasn't coming. Franco not charging from third base, and it's ball 1. So Ramirez becomes the 8th man to hit here in the 4th inning. Leiter has had success against the Braves. He's only 8-9 in his career against Atlanta, but a lifetime ERA of .292 when facing the Braves. Outside, he's gone to 2-0, and of course this is the, even with the pitcher batting, this is the gamble that you take with a guy like Leiter. You have to throw strikes. No place to put him.
Disregard this bunt stuff. Play back in the infield.
Right through the chute, 2-1.
Which the Mets are doing. Wigginton is the only one that can play slightly in. Left-hand hitting pitcher.
A Brave at every base, and he is bunting, but he fouls it away.
Let him bunt.
Let him bunt.
You got to force out the plate too if you want. He bunts it too hard. You got every base is an out. It doesn't run well.
Nope. And Wigginton was right. He was at the inside cut of the grass when that ball was bunted. He's committed to the bunt very early. Wigginton coming from third base. You got an out at home. You got an out at first.
The only place to bunt there is to try to push it towards second base. If you're going to do it, get a left-hand pitcher out. Good cut.
Yeah, got a piece of it. He's hitting 125 coming into the game.
Did I hear Keith Hernandez say about a pitcher? Good cut.
That was a good cut.
Huh?
We have it on tape.
That was a good cut.
Stop the presses. We got a scoop here, baby.
Two out, bases loaded, the 2-2. And again, knocks it foul.
That wasn't that great a cut. He just got a piece of it.
But he didn't keep himself alive.
He's making Al throw another pitch. He's making Al throw another pitch.
I think you got the one compliment on a pitcher swing you're going to get out of Keith this season. So I think you're pushing it.
Hey, you can keep fouling off and trying to draw a walk or get a base hit here. Let's see what Al does.
A little bit inside for ball 3.
Well, now you know what you're getting.
Cheddar cheese. Tried to throw a curveball, slider, and he hung it up out of the plate. Now we got a full count. The runners will be in motion.
Everybody gets a head start. Full count. There they go. Cut on and missed. He struck him out. But a scuffle in that inning for Al Leiter. He gives up 2 runs. And Atlanta has tied it 2-2.
Hey, baseball fans. Only MLB.com takes you straight from the ballpark to your computer. So don't miss a second of the action. Check out MLB.com, the only place for live baseball online. Get live games with MLB.tv and game day audio. See live stats with MLB.com's unique game day feature. For fans who just can't get enough of the game, MLB.com, the official site for all things baseball, the #1 site for Major League Baseball fans.
We glance at the Lexus line score. Hits are even at 3. Even on the scoreboard, 2-2. 1 error. Atlanta has made that. And fans, you can be part of the team by joining the Mets Fan Club for Kids, presented by Sports Authority and Newsday. Members receive an ID card, special club cap and t-shirt, birthday card, newsletters, and more. A 1-year membership is just $25. To join, call 201-784-9600 or click on the Fan Club link at Mets.com and download an application. Sunday afternoon, and the Mets trying to stave off a 4-game sweep at the hands of the Braves. Tony Clark 1 for 1. He scored a run in the 3rd inning. Jose Reyes driving in 2 with a 2-run double in that frame. Horacio Ramirez trying to beat the Mets for the 3rd time this year. The 23-year-old out of Carson, California, trying to go to 9-3 on the year. He's out of Inglewood High School, which is a very famous high school. It's produced a lot of terrific athletes. And Ramirez actually played basketball there as well as baseball. Inglewood right in the backyard of the old Forum where the Lakers used to play.
Los Angeles puts out great athletes. They have wonderful football, high school football, basketball. So many people, of course. There's got to be good athletics there. But always Southern California, particularly Los Angeles, just has wonderful high school programs, athletic programs.
Ramirez, a huge Laker fan. Tony Clark takes a strike. Knee high along the outside edge. Tough pitch.
He just continued to paint down and away, down and away. Periodically come up and in.
Up the middle, and Clark hasn't figured out. He's 2 for 2. So Tony, after a very difficult day yesterday where he struck out 4 times, is perfect this afternoon. Tonight, the New York Post loved every minute of it, and TV Guide gave it 4 out of 4 stars. Find out why the critics are raving about Boarding House. That's tonight at 9 on the WB11.
Bravo.
You know, I love working with Keith because he cheers me on, Tom, and you never do that. I mean, the promos that, and you know how much I love doing the promos and,
yes,
and the reads and stuff. And
I'll give you the reason why, too.
Why is that?
I have an antebellum sense of appreciation for your work.
It's our word of the day if you haven't figured it out. And I'm sure you have. Antebellum. I'll take antebellum homes for 50, Alex.
No, they'll cost you more than that.
Those are some beautiful houses.
Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous houses.
Tom, we were talking when Ramirez was taking his warm-ups, how he pitches off the third base side of the rubber and steps on the first base side. He kind of throws across his body. Randy Jones did that to the extreme.
Well, there's an old terminology, soft toss and left-hander, and I don't think you'd fit Ramirez in that category. He throws on enough, pops the ball pretty well, but he does start on the third base side when he sets up on the rubber, and his front leg and foot step down and way over to the first base side. So he throws across his body, and depending on, there's a good chance there's elbow trouble waiting to happen when that happens. If you don't clear the hips and get the leading foot out a little bit over in front of the foot that's on the rubber here. A good look at it. And that foot's going to come way over here, and should be actually more to his right. How much he's come across the body, and then he pushes back against that.
So it's hard for him to have a follow through towards third base.
Well, you're going to have a recoil too.
Right.
Some of that energy is going to come back in your elbow.
Now, as a hitter, I didn't like guys that threw across their body like that. Randy Jones, the 20-game winner, the sinker slider pitcher for the Padres. I think because they throw across body, it makes their slider better because they have to come hard across it. But it's just a different look for a hitter that I personally didn't like.
Well, Tom, you mentioned that elbow problems are either part of his past or will be part of his future. That one stung into the corner, and a foul ball by Joe McEwing. Horacio Ramirez has already had the worst kind of elbow trouble, Tommy John surgery. He did not pitch in 2001 after a start on May 4th because of Tommy John surgery on that left elbow. So he's already encountered that.
Well, I mean, it's easy to say from afar when you don't know the specifics of the situation, but I mean, that to me, that's always been something that potentially is a problem, throwing across the body. A lot of organizations, a lot of pitching coaches don't mind. I think that's okay. They want that real stiff front side, throw against it just like a hitter hits against that stiff front leg. But anytime you recoil that pitching arm, that energy's got to be absorbed somewhere.
The 3-2 to McEwing, and he walks him. So this is how it started for the Mets in the third inning. The first two men reached base off of Ramirez. And then Al Leiter dropped down a beautiful sacrifice bunt. Well, he's got to do it again.
Well, it's interesting. Number 4, 5, 6 in the lineup for the New York Mets are 0 for 6. And you get down to 7, 8. The bottom of the lineup, Clark and McEwing, they've been on base 4 times, 3 singles. And that last one, a walk to McEwing. 7, 8 in the lineup have killed Ramirez so far. Actually a gift for the New York Mets. He puts Al Leiter up in another bunt situation.
Well, Franco is playing very aggressively in Julio, much like Wigginton on the first base side. There's the bunt. How about Al?
Ramirez looks at third, and from foul territory throws, and it pulled him off the base. He pulled the second baseman DeRosa, who was covering, away from the bag, and everybody's safe. But a big part of that was another excellent bunt by Leiter.
It's going to be a sacrifice and an error on the pitcher. Plenty of time. Al with that gingerly knee going down first base. One of the things you talk about is Atlanta club. A great hitting ball club. Always very fine pitching. But they have the 4th most errors in the National League. And that is unusual for a club that is playing. They've won 2/3 of their games so far this season. And Ramirez at the bottom of this lineup is just digging himself as big a hole as you possibly can. You got 7, 8, and 9, and they have all reached base.
Well, you know, I've always said there's got to be communication. You saw Ramirez fielding that bunt, and there's got to be someone telling him that first. He looked to third base first.
Yeah, he did.
So there's no communication, no verbal communication. And Blanco has to scream. First. It's his job. Now watch his reaction here. I don't know if we can see it, but he looks to third base here. Now first, don't look over there. You can't get him.
Had he not looked, does he get him at first base?
Well, he has more time to collect himself.
Well, here's Reyes, who's been outstanding with bases loaded, and already has 2 RBIs today. He's up to 241, 2 hits yesterday.
And the Braves are in at the corners, back for a double play in the middle infielders.
Reyes, of course, already with a grand slam, but he pops this one up. And with the infield fly in effect, there's Franco with the shades down to make the catch. So Ramirez gets a big out there as he gets Jose Reyes to pop up.
Oh, the bat boy fell down. He's embarrassed. He tripped.
Oh, that's so you got to feel awful for that.
Tanglefoot.
Yeah.
He was coming back to the dugout and tripped.
And he went down hard.
He turned back and sneered at Duncan. Good.
He's embarrassed, that poor kid.
Bat boy with attitude.
All right, we're getting a look at Jeff Duncan to play every day. This is opportunity here against left-handers. There's the bat.
Got a little ribbing from Don Baylor there. Duncan swings right through it. He has walked and struck out. He was also caught stealing, picked off at first base in the first inning on a play as part of a double play in which Reyes at third was also caught in a rundown and tagged out.
It seems right now that Duncan tries to pull the breaking ball. I see him swing and miss at a lot of sliders away. He has a good eye up there. He's patient, but he's got to drive more towards the pitcher to hit that breaking ball. Either that or move closer to the plate.
He's been a good hitter. He batted .373 combined at 2 stops last year, both at A-ball for the Mets at St. Lucie and Cap City. And there's a fake toss by Ramirez. Everyone gets back.
You got a very open stance at the plate. Very open. It's where you stride with your front foot.
Duncan, excellent speed, so he's tough to double up. That's on the outside corner for a strike. 1-2.
Well, now you see, doesn't really quite step straight ahead. He's a little bit in the bucket there. And that's why I think he has difficulty with the outside pitch. He's got to protect now. And they're going to stay away.
Floater, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. Here comes Clark. Here comes the second run. McEwing trying to score. The play at the plate, and he is going to be safe. Dropped there at the dish by Blanco anyway. 2-run score on the base hit by Jeff Duncan. And the Mets lead it now 4-2. Just got enough on that swing to fight it into the outfield.
Well, he stays level. This is good hitting right here by Duncan. And a little bit surprising that Ramirez, 0-2, wouldn't waste a pitch. See if the fish are biting. And McEwing might have been out at the plate if he hangs onto the ball. If Blanco hangs onto the ball, he might have been out at the plate. And here's the runners all here. Al, of course, will just disregard Al at second. No offense.
He'll be delighted to hear that.
Gingerly running to second base, Al.
Only one out. Here's Roger Cedeno. He's flied out and grounded out. Back to the plate here.
Well, here's the throw. And the throw hit the cutoff man. A little wide turn here. But look, he hangs onto this ball. He's out.
I'm not sure he ever touched the plate.
Yeah, he didn't touch the plate.
He went back and touched the plate.
After the umpire called him safe prior because he dropped the ball, but he might have been out.
Initially, he never got the plate. So Cedeno looking to pick up an RBI here. He's going to have to hit it into the alley because Leiter is the runner at second. And with a balky knee, no less. One more look at the plate here. You see McEwing does not get the dish until he goes back and touches it.
Good job by Blanco to block the plate.
Absolutely.
Push that leg right off. He just one mistake.
It's an interesting call, though. I mean, James Hoy, the home plate ump, called him safe before he ever touched
on the play. Oh
right.
yeah, that's for the that's for the identification of the runner, so he knows what the call is.
Sheffield backing up on the track now, turns around and makes a basket catch, and Leiter will stay put at second.
They called him safe as if not to be out, and then when he went back and touched the plate, then he pointed at the plate and said, "Okay, now that's a run," because he hadn't gotten there yet.
Right.
It's actually a good play by Hoy, the home plate umpire.
So Cedeno 0 for 3, and here's Ty Wigginton. The Mets in front 4-2. In the last 10 games, New York has not scored more than 4 runs in any game. Not a lot of runs to work with. Wigginton 0 for 2. He's flying to Sheffield twice in right field. Back out of play for strike 1.
They're talking about troubles with the Atlanta Braves and scoring runs. Last 6 games of the Braves, they've been outscored. The Mets have 39-19.
So if you're Horacio Ramirez, not your best day and coming off a bad start against the Cubs, but you know that your team is going to score you some runs. Lined into the outfield. Here comes Andrew Jones. He won't get it. Leiter into third. He's trying to score, but Jones bobbles it. Otherwise, they probably have Leiter at the plate. And the run is in. Duncan into third. It is 5-2, and a rare mistake by the Gold Glover in center field.
Well, this error probably came about because he realized that Al with the bad knee had a chance, and he looked up too quick. So even the best make errors, and here's the runners here. Now Duncan has to watch Leiter because he's not sure he's going to send Leiter because he knows that Al has the bad knee. Picks up the ball. Sees the air, should never take his eyes off the ball. And that's going to be the end of Ramirez.
An RBI base hit for Ty Wigginton, and here comes Bobby Cox. So Ramirez can't get through 5 innings today. A look back to another era as we go to break. After the error by Andrew Jones helps get the New York Mets out in front 5-2.
Well, there's Horacio Ramirez right there, just knocked out by Wigginton. And here's the play in the outfield. Now you can see at the point where the errors occurred. Now Galante's waving Leiter home right there. He's not even close to third base. He's a dead duck. Now the other side of the coin is Duncan. He has to pick up the third base coach. If Galante's waving him home, he doesn't stop. He keeps running to third and tries to draw the throw to third base. Doesn't have to look behind. He's only thing he has to do is he's rounding second base is picking up Galante, and Galante was giving Leiter the wave home. Then he has to go to third and try to draw the throw so the run scores.
So the third error of the year for the 5-time Gold Glover Andrew Jones, helping get Ramirez out of the ball game. Runners at first and third for Jason Phillips. He's 0 for 2 today with a couple of flyouts. And that's 3 errors for the Braves. And Tom made the point, this has not been a great defensive team Atlanta's fielded this year. Fly ball lifted into left, Bragg coming in on it. And that's the third out. But the Mets, they pick up 3 more runs and have retaken the lead here in Atlanta. It's the Mets 5 and the Mets 2, the Braves 2. Al Leiter needing to get through this inning to qualify for a win as we look at the Mets' upcoming schedule. It's brought to you by your local Honda dealer. On to Philadelphia Monday and Tuesday. That's a quick in and out. And the same thing up in Montreal Wednesday and Thursday. And we're back on the WB11 on Thursday from Canada with Tom Glavine taking on the Expos before the Mets head home to Shea in a series against the Cincinnati Reds. Bottom half of the 5th inning, and it's the top of the order for the Braves for Cole Bunning a foul. He's gone 0 for 2. 5 runs on 6 hits for the Mets, 2 runs, 3 hits, and 3 errors for Atlanta.
Well, it's important for Al and any pitcher, and I think, Tom, you'll agree with this. When your team scores a run for you, you go out there and run a goose egg up.
Quickly.
Very important.
Yeah. This is a real big inning for Leiter and for the Mets. I mean, you go back in front, get a couple of runs. First out here for Collis out. Big strong throw from Reyes at first. Go out there, get him out, get your club right back in the dugout right now. Get him back in there. Try to make a 7-8 pitch inning, and you're right back at the top of the lineup. This is one of the little psychological things that a pitcher can do, and veteran pitchers will recognize too. You get the top of the lineup, get them out 1, 2, 3. Get your guys right back off the field, and put the bats right back in their hand. Look at this. Nope, didn't stay fair. That's. I mean, Al, certainly 37 years old, he knows those kinds of things. Work quickly. Hot day here in Atlanta. Get off the field. This might be his last inning. Maybe he'll go another one. 7.
Temperatures into the mid-90s.
Yeah, and humid here.
Oh, Atlanta in the summertime. Might as well be St. Louis.
Cincinnati.
Or Cincinnati.
That's 3 hot towns. Now you got Miami to throw in the mix.
At least you get a little bit of a sea breeze down there. 1 ball and 1 strike on DeRosa. In fact, the heat is part of the reason that Mark DeRosa is playing second base and not Marcus Giles today. Giles and Javi Lopez had difficulty with the high temperatures yesterday. They were dehydrated. They had dizzy spells. Bobby Cox resting both of them. Of course, Giles had that concussion too.
They had dizzy spells, huh?
Yeah. This one stung high into right, backing up Cedeno, and there for the play. He makes the catch. 2 quick outs. So Leiter taking Mr. Seaver's advice to heart here in the 5th.
We know what they say. They don't make them like they used to.
Oh, I knew that
Ruth,
was coming.
Gehrig, Seaver, Hernandez.
That's right. I'm glad you threw yourself in that mix, big boy.
2 down, Sheffield to batter. He has struck out and walked. But of course, the great story
there was one thing different about those 4 people you talked about. I'm not just talking about pitching. You know that, don't you?
What?
Only one right-handed hitter.
Oh.
The great story I thought was always Ernie Banks, who always used to say, let's play 2. It did that one day. I think it was in St. Louis.
Yes, it was.
And in the second game, he fainted. He collapsed.
They never let Lou say they never let him live that down. Lou Brock.
Inside on Sheffield, nearly hitting him on that elbow.
I remember a doubleheader we had. They're always that a day doubleheader. We had a day doubleheader. And Lou, they didn't realize that Lou had got to the point where he was 37, that he couldn't do it. And he's out in left field, up against the fence, waving his hat. His legs, because the sun set over the left field fence. So he got in the shade. He was leaning back, waving his hat. His legs had cramped.
He's calling for help, right?
Get me, send me a stretcher.
Ball 4 to Sheffield, on for the second time. And so with 2 out, that'll bring up Andrew Jones.
Send the card out here and get me. That's where the old term "cart him off" came from, you know.
Oh gosh.
Andrew Jones yesterday 2 for 3 with a home run. In Atlanta's victory, they won the first 3 games of the series. They have not swept the Mets in a 4-game series since July 18 through the 20th. Amazingly enough, 1965. So it's 38 years ago this very day. They're trying to do the same thing, but they're down 5-2 to the Mets.
That would have been the 65 Mets, correct?
Yes, sir.
You weren't a member of that team, were you, Tom? You were 2 years away.
That's that Spanish sense of humor that you look at me out of the corner of your eye when you mention the year 1965.
You were a Southern California Trojan at that time, weren't you?
That's correct, Mr. Hernandez.
Andrew Jones, who hails from Curacao. That's some great looking shades there in Curacao. Very stylish sunglasses. The 1-1 pitch. Missed away. Jones with a double in the 4th inning. But against Leiter in his career, just 12 hits and 57 at bats, including 18 strikeouts, and he's never hit a home run against Al.
I'll tell you what, Al, with this time off and getting healthy with that knee, the way he's throwing, don't you think that there's some scouts out here looking, people looking down the road that need a left-hand starter or a starter for a push for a division flag? There wouldn't be some interest?
Yeah, of course, the problem with Leiter, if you're thinking about that, or if teams are thinking Al Leiter might be available, he has a no-trade clause, which could be waived. But Al Leiter has given no indication, the Jersey boy that he is, that he's willing to follow one of these scouts out of Shea Stadium.
There's also 10-5 too. 10 years, 5 years of the Mets. I mean, he'd have to okay any trade or be compensated for it. I don't think Al wants to go anywhere. Al's very perfectly happy living in New York. Loves the New York area and region. Considers himself a native there. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Loves those Springsteen shows. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Sheffield on the move, and that's punch foul by Andrew Jones.
Well, he started out this inning extremely well. Got 2 quick outs. And all of a sudden, the wheels have somewhat come off the wagon here.
He's just walked Sheffield, and he's gone to 3-2 on Andrew Jones. Yeah, pitch, and he struck him out. He does that a lot to Andrew. A wave and a miss. Sheffield stranded at first base. So on a lovely day here in the South, it remains the Mets 5 and the Braves 2 through 5. On to the 6th inning, and Raul Gonzalez leads it off against Kevin Grabowski, who came on in relief of Horacio Ramirez. The Mets got to the youngster today for the first time this year, really, knocking him off the hill in the 5th inning. He gave up 5 runs on 6 hits in the heat. Raul on the day 0 for 2, although he started this afternoon hitting almost 300 off of lefties. A little chopper there. Castillo rushes the throw and gets it there in good shape. Nice play by Vinny Castillo.
Yeah, they don't get much better than Vinny Castillo at third base. He is an outstanding third baseman. He can make some spectacular plays, and this is not easy.
He was playing very deep. He knows he has to rush it. He comes in and charges the ball immediately, makes the throw on the run. Nice play. I mean, you're looking at that temperature, 95.7. I think if you ask all the players here with all that horrific weather we had in April and May, would they rather play in 95 to 100 degrees or 45, 38, 40 degrees in Chile? They all say I'd rather play in 100 degrees.
Absolutely. 95 degrees, I'll take it any time.
Absolutely.
Tony Clark, one Met, certainly disappointed that Ramirez left the game. He was 2 for 2 off him. Joe McEwing to follow. This part of the order, 7, 8, 9, has done all the damage, really, as far as getting on base and scoring runs. That's where all 5 runs have come from. Although Duncan came up with a big 2-run hit, and so did Jose Reyes back in the 3rd inning. Now Leiter going to the water bottle. Staying hydrated. The 2-1 pitch. That one pops out of the middle. Blanco, 3 balls, 1 strike. It is on to Philadelphia for the Mets, and then they'll be taking on the Montreal Expos as well. A pair of 2-game series. You don't even unpack for those. 3-1 he checked, and it's low ball 4. So Clark is on base for the 3rd time today as we give you a look at the Lexus out-of-town scores. Jeff Bagwell has homered twice in that game for Houston. He now has 20. Dontrell Willis, the All-Star, is on the hill for the Florida Marlins, trying to win his 10th. Reggie Sanders has hit number 16 for the Pirates. Mike Mussina on the mound today for the Yankees. Baltimore with an early lead. Same with the Red Sox over Toronto. Pedro is on the mound. Pedro Martinez for Boston. Esteban Loaiza is looking for his 12th win of the season for the Chicago White Sox today. Kansas City still way out in front in the Central. Here comes Cliff Floyd, who is listed day to day. He has come to the on-deck area and will bat for Al Leiter. 1 on, 1 out, and 0-1 to count on McEwing. And a double play ball to DeRosa for call 1. Back to first. That ends the inning. 4-6-3 and out. And it looks like Leiter is out as well. The Mets lead it, though, 5-2.
I hope you're ready for this.
Death has a scary way of coming back. Final Destination 2 on Infinifilm DVD.
What did you see?
Discover Death's pattern when you go beyond the movie into the scariest Infinifilm ever.
It's not over yet.
Plus, an all-access pass that gets you inside incredible documentaries, including the Terror Gauge, deleted scenes, and much more. Buy the Infinifilm DVD July 22nd. Watch the movie, then experience the Infinifilm. Also available on Infinifilm DVD.
Coming up and find out why WB11's News at 10 is the Emmy winner for Best Single Newscast, the 2nd year in a row. Join the team that brings New York's news to you tonight at 10 on the WB11. Keith Hernandez, Tom Seaver, Dave O'Brien, and the new second baseman is Ray Sanchez. He's going to bat in the 9 spot. Dave Weathers is going to do the pitching now, taking over for Al Leiter, who has a shot at his first win since June 18. Weathers has been outstanding. He'll take the ball every day. A 289 earned run average. Leiter goes 5 tough innings. He strikes out 5. Chopper up the middle, and that'll squeak through for a base hit for Julio Franco, who could not manage a hit off Leiter. He's 1 for 2 today and leading off the 6th with a single.
Well, this has been Weathers' big bane this year. He's had a difficulty with that first hitter. He's now retired only 29 out of 54 this season. He gets himself in trouble and manages to pitch himself right out of it. He did it on Friday night. I'm sorry, the first game.
You saw there 366 average from that first hitter. Much different story thereafter. Castilla trying to take him to the downs, swings right through it. A lot of interest by clubs in contention for David Weathers.
Why would?
Left field. Real good discipline on this ball club as far as their hitters are concerned. They've had 2 outstanding at-bats, 2 pretty good pitches from David Weathers for singles.
Really interesting about Atlanta as far as all the pitches that they don't take. They stand last in the league in pitches seen per plate appearance. But today, very patient. Off the corner, 2-1.
Well, that was a big pitch right there. That's a swing pitch, 1-1. Now it's advantage hitter with the bases loaded. Trying to run that sinker there and just missed outside. Take your chances. You got 8 guys out there with gloves on right here.
The 2-1 on the edge of the plate, 2-2. Big pitch for Dave Weathers.
Backdoor slider, Tom.
Backdoor slider when he needed a strike. Was it a strike? Robert Fick didn't think it was a strike. Yeah, that's definitely a strike. Up and up. Yeah.
That's a gutsy pitch.
Yeah, that's real gutsy right there. Is exactly right.
Good Lord, he misses. It's 3-1.
But doesn't that typify Weathers and the whole approach he brings to the mound? Really doesn't sweat anybody. Here's the 2-2. Fought off again by Fick. For a call would be the next man in the batter's box, but Franco, Castilla, and Bragg are on the bases.
And I think Tom's point was excellent about the at-bats the Braves have put together this inning. And now we're at another big battle here. This is a critical part of the ball game here.
Weathers has thrown 25 pitches in the inning, and that's a ball. And in fact, that hit him. Fick gets hit by the pitch that's going to force in a run. Robert Fick hit on the leg by the pitch. Franco scores and makes it 5-3 the Mets.
David Weathers looks like a slider went down and in. Did he try to get out of the way? Yes, he did. Hit that front kneecap. Slider coming in off the plate. And that's going to put the Atlanta Braves a run closer, and that's going to be the second trip for Art Howe to the mound. And somebody's going to have to come out and bail David Weathers out here.
Go get him. It'll be the left-hander Graham Lloyd. He's ready to go. For a call will be the batter as we give you a view of beautiful Stone Mountain, Georgia. One of the big tourist attractions here in this city. And we'll be back in a moment.
On the WB's Big Sunday, the charmed ones are feeling hot.
What is this, a brothel?
Charmed. Then, a crucial day of competition is hours away. If pro surfer Danny Fuller can't resist the temptations of the night,
Danny,
he will suffer the consequences. I'd put my money on temptation. A special presentation of Boarding House after Charmed.
Tonight starting at 8, only on the WB11. On July 25th, the future of man is in the hands of one woman. Angelina Jolie is...
Hello, boys.
Lara Croft. Tomb Raider, the Cradle of Life.
Hi, this is Emily Francis from the WB11 Morning News. Tune into the Morning News to find out how you can win a Jeep similar to this one, featured in Paramount Pictures' Lara Croft Tomb Raider, the Cradle of Life.
The game may be in the balance here as we give you a look at the Lexus line score. The Mets ahead 5-3. But Atlanta has a man at every base here as they bring on Graham Lloyd. The Mets go to the left-hander. And that means for call will be batting right-handed. He's .263 from this side of the plate. .289 hitting lefty.
And Graham Lloyd also against right-handers. They're hitting .302 off him with 2 home runs. Lefties .195.
Outside ball 1 for a call 0 for 3 today.
For call pretty even, as you're saying, but both sides as far as average goes against hitting right-handed, left-handed. And no double plays in that column for him.
Yeah, and here we are, July 20th.
Oh boy, salivating. 2-0 count, bases 2-1. Did he call the first pitch a strike?
No, second pitch. So first pitch a ball call. This is strike.
Okay, I thought he called it a ball. Boy, he got the call.
Tell you what, James Hoy is not having a good inning. The home plate umpire, 1-1. For call didn't like that call. I guarantee Bobby Cox didn't like it.
That was better than the last one. The one before that was outside. That was way outside. See where he sets up, you hit the target, it's way outside. Go out there again, make him hit it. Go right back out there, get off the plate outside. Not that far.
Of course, the big thing that scares you about for call, Keith, you're talking about the speed, and Tom, the fact he doesn't get doubled up, but he's hit 13 home runs already.
He's got 4 from the right side of the plate and 9 from the left, but obviously not as many bats against left-handers.
Hit 8 last year. That was his career high at any level. Fouls that one back off into the stands. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Hitting .316 this year with runners in scoring position. Gotta like that from your leadoff hitter.
That power really jumps out at you.
If he could only throw.
Yeah.
Absolute cannon from shortstop.
The pitch to the All-Star. Oh, he came out of his shoes to hit that one.
And really, it's a very good point. You've got 2 strikes on you, and you take a swing like that on a pitch up and away when a base hit ties the ball game. A double puts you ahead. Stay within yourself. A home run's not required here. A line drive.
You know, Terry Pendleton's thinking that. Swing and a miss, and down he goes on strikes. Lloyd gets him. 2 gone.
Well, it's a big out right here. And he went for the bad breaking ball. Now, Lloyd went after him with 6 straight fastballs. Went up the ladder and with the fastball, the overswinging for Cal, which was a good pitch to hit. And then the fish were biting on the breaking ball in the dirt.
Here's DeRosa. A quiet day. Playing second base for Giles today, and he is 0 for 3. That's strike 1. Came right through the middle.
You give Lloyd credit. He's coming out throwing strikes. And fastballs. He's coming after people.
0-2 on DeRosa. Sheffield is on deck. Lloyd wants to leave him right there.
What a luxury if you can get Sheffield, obviously, to lead off. If you're the Mets.
And if you're DeRosa, you got to realize that even though the bases are loaded with Sheffield behind you, you're going to get fastballs.
And yet he's 0-2. 1-2 now.
Graham Lloyd's one of those guys, has a funky delivery. He's got a lot of elbows. Seems like he's got about 4 or 5 elbows and some knees coming from different places. 3 or 4 elbows and hips and knees flying at you.
2-2.
They'd have taken it if they'd have gotten it. Talking about Phillips and Graham Lloyd. But you're talking about fastballs, Keith, and all that herky-jerky and unorthodox makes that fastball a little bit more effective.
Absolutely.
A little bit more difficult to pick up.
The 2-2 pitch. In there for strike 3. He pins DeRosa to the plate. Terrific effort by Graham Lloyd. He strikes out Fricall and DeRosa with the bases loaded, and they leave him that way. Wake up with the WB11 Morning News team. Let John, Lynn, Linda, and Emily give you all the news you can use. That's every weekday morning starting at 5:30 a.m. right here on the WB11. It is on to the 7th inning, and the Mets have a 5-3 lead over Atlanta. The left-hander from Seoul, South Korea, Jung-Kyun Bong, comes out of the bullpen, a .383 earned run average. He's appeared in 47 total innings. And he will work to Ray Sanchez, getting his first at bat today, working out of the 9 spot, and then it's Jose Reyes and Jeff Duncan due to hit. 5 runs on 6 hits for the Mets. 3 runs, 6 hits, and 3 errors for Atlanta, and that's stroked right back through the middle for a base hit. Sanchez aboard to begin the 7th. Terrific job by Graham Lloyd to wriggle off the hook there. Not a mess of his making. Weathers giving up 3 hits. There was a hit batsman as well to force in a run. But Lloyd strikes out for a call and DeRosa back to back with the bases jammed.
The last one taking too, totally fooled him.
Indeed. Bunted by Reyes. Gobble up by Castilla. Quick toss to get him. Sanchez is into second.
Well, they give him a sacrifice on that for Reyes. If he can get that in the right position, potentially he got a base hit. Get the runner down to second base. Sanchez ends up on second. Commits himself early to make sure, yes, at least we're going to get the runner to second. And you're trying it against one of the best third basemen in the business right there in Vinny Castilla. And it makes that play look easy. It is not that easy a play when you've got the speed of Reyes going down first base. Well, the Mets again get a runner to scoring position, or the youngster Jeff Duncan,
who came into the game hitting .348 in his last 8 games. And he's 1 for 2 today with a big hit in the 5th inning, a single that drove in 2. So his batting average overall is .346. Duncan getting the starts in center field, where he has acquitted himself very well. He's looked pretty smooth out there defensively. I don't think the Mets have many worries at all, Tom, about him playing the outfield.
And taking charge, too. Then listen, I'm the center fielder. As Keith was talking about earlier, I'm the quarterback. I'm the police chief. You know, I run this outfield, and I'm in charge of what goes on out there. And that's terrific for him to do that, for a young player to come along and be that assertive. And it seems as if that's the way he is going about his business in center field. And it's something you really appreciate from a young player coming along. He knows that, you know, that responsibility goes with that position.
And you know what, you've seen it with Duncan. You pointed it out the other night. He made a running catch, made a very casual running catch, but it was a long catch on the warning track out in left center field. He looked like he had played in Atlanta for several years on this field. It looked like he needed to be where he was, that he had pulled up just at the right time. He was familiar with the warning track. He was familiar with the fence. I think that's very unusual for a young guy.
And that's part of the learning process. You go around, you see brand new ballparks. You're in awe to begin with when you reach the big leagues and see big league parks. But also, that's your office. You have to, you know, find out how far it is from the warning track to the wall, and where the nooks and crannies are. Where does the ball carry? Where does it bounce? How does it bounce off the wall? He's done a good job in finding those things out, so that when the game starts, he's ready to play.
The really good center fielders, they'll work that out the first game of a series. They'll go into the outfield and they'll step off how many strides to the fence. That one bounces away from Blanco, but not far enough. And so Sanchez holds at second base. So if it's 5 strides from the start of the warning track to the fence, they know that before the first ball is hit to them. As soon as you feel that dirt kicking up under your feet, you know you're there.
How does the ball kick off the grass? Does the ball, when it rolls across the outfield, does it kind of wiggle back and forth like it does in some of the artificial surfaces? Or does it run straight? Is it quick? Is it slow? How deep is the grass? There's a good swing right there on a 3-2 pitch. Got fastball and just fouled it back on the screen. The luxuries of hitting 3-2, especially if you're a young player, you can sit right on the fastball, and he just was late on it. Good swing, though.
This is the first time in the last 11 games the Mets have scored more than 4 runs in any single contest. They lead at 5-3 here in the 7th, and a chance for another with Sanchez at second. And that's ball for good eye by Duncan. He walks for the second time, and he's on base for the 3rd time today. So Bong passes on him. That'll bring up Roger Cedeno, who's gone 0 for 3.
Well, Leo Mazzoni, the pitching coach, can't be too happy with his pitchers today. Ramirez, who looked spotty today, he had, you know, his moments of brilliance, but it's his 2nd start in a row that he has not had a good outing. And that bad outing you were talking about early, David, about the start in Chicago, and then again today he didn't get to the 5th inning, and gives up 5 runs, albeit only 4 of them earned, but still 4 earned runs in less than 5 innings.
So in each of his last 2 starts, the rookie left-hander has not pitched 5 innings. He was just beaten by the Cubs 7-3. And excuse me, kind of a swing there by Cedeno. He fouls it away. You think back to opening day now, when looking at Cedeno, only 9 players who were active and in uniform for that 15-2 loss to the Cubs on March 31. Only 9 of them have been active for every Met game since. Cedeno is 1, Floyd, Glavine, Graham Lloyd, Jae-Young So, Traxel, Weathers, Vance Wilson, and Ty Wigginton. And that's it from opening day. 1-2 on Cedeno. Except for the 2nd and the 4th, the Mets have had base runners in every inning today against the Atlanta pitching staff. 2 more on here in the 7th inning. Fastball outside. The crowd wanted it. James Hoy said it was not a strike. 2-2. Bobby Cox has already been run 7 times, starting to bark over there.
Well, this is a pitch that looks like it was a strike when Graham Lloyd was pitching.
It was.
It was a strike, wasn't it? Exactly the same kind of pitch. You know, they're screaming over there, say, hey, call it both ways.
Three and 2. Ty Wigginton up next. Mets trying to build something and add on some more runs, leading 5-3. The Braves attempting a 4-game sweep here this afternoon. The payoff, the runners go. Fly to right, pretty well hit. Sheffield backs up, turns to make the catch. And everyone gets back to their bases. That's out number 2.
Well, Art Howe playing very aggressively on the 3-2 count. And 1 out, had the runners going at first and third. Hit sharply by Cedeno late on the swing. And Sheffield catches it. There goes the runner from second base. The runner from first base heading towards second. And they see the ball hit in the air. Good base running. Pick it up. Make sure you pick the ball up. Contact at home plate. See what's up. And, of course, fly ball. Get back to second.
Ty Wigginton drove in a run with an RBI single in the 5th. He's had a pretty good series. It's 5 out of 13. Ball 1 to him. On to Philadelphia next for these New York Mets. A quick 2-game series at Veterans Stadium. And then it's on to Montreal for 2 fast ones there. The left-hander's pitch, a check swing, and he left it high, 2-0.
Remember, Dave, we were on the air before the All-Star break, and we were talking about this period of time, and the Mets are playing Atlanta Braves, Phillies, Atlanta, Phillies, etc. It'd be a good win for them to get here. They've lost 9 out of 10 of those games so far and been outscored 63-30 in those 10 ball games, all against the Braves, all against the Phillies. Yeah, the Braves in 2 series, the Phillies in 1 series, and of course they go right back to Philadelphia to finish out that kind of sequence. But they have been, well, it had been happy before walking off that field, losing 9 out of 10, being outscored almost 2-1.
On Monday, Aaron Heilman against Brandon Duckworth. Tuesday, Steve Traxel battles Kevin Millwood. Wednesday and Thursday in Canada, Jae Young So and Tommy Glavine scheduled to go. 2 on, 2 out, and here comes the 2-1 pitch to Ty Wigginton. That'll make the seats off to the right. Ty has played a lot of baseball here in his rookie season. And here in Atlanta on this Sunday afternoon, it's the 97th game for the Mets this year. He has started 95 of them. Hitting .271 at the moment.
Probably mad he didn't get to start the other 2, too.
Boggs' pitch. Jammed in, foul tip to the mitt for strike 3. Blanco hung on for the strikeout. So 2 men left. So on a hot sunny day here in July in Atlanta, the Mets still lead it 5-3. A look at the Jeep game summary here as the Mets hold a 5-3 lead going to the bottom of the 7th inning. Jose Reyes with a 2-run double in the 3rd inning. Jeff Duncan also had a 2-run hit in the 5th. Clark and McEwing down near the bottom of that order have done good work, and Al Leiter can pick up his first win since the middle of June. He went 5 innings today, his first start off the DL. Get a double dose of the family that puts the fun in dysfunctional. Don't miss Everybody Loves Raymond. It's every weeknight at 7:30 and 11:30 only on the WB11. Tom Seaver and Dave O'Brien with you as Ed Almonte comes out of the bullpen, the former Chicago White Sox prospect. He's worked 3 innings so far since the Alomar trade. Timo Perez is also going to come into the ball game and play left field, relieving Raul Gonzalez. So a couple of changes for Art Howe here. 5-7-0 for the Mets, 3-6-3 for the Braves. And it certainly has not been the kind of defensive team that Bobby Cox has had in the past, and 3 errors today really stands out.
Well, the other interesting part about this, as we get closer to the end of this ball game, who's the closer out there in the bullpen? Or is it committee? Mets have not had games in which they've had a need for a closer. But I would presume it's probably going to be committee, David.
Yeah, we know it's not going to be David Weathers.
No.
Weathers has already worked in this ball game, and so has Graham Lloyd.
It's not Armando.
Almonte working here and facing Gary Sheffield, who takes one down low for ball 1. On the day, he's been on base twice, but he's taken a pair of walks to do that after an 0 for yesterday. So, the 5-for-5 game with 2 homers on Friday. He's been quiet since, but that is cause for some concern because he doesn't stay quiet very long.
Well, if you're going to pitch against Sheffield, this is a perfect spot for it. Nobody on. You got a 2-run lead. But you got to go after him. You got to go get him. And there's the guy behind him. Andrew Jones hit the ball out of the ballpark as easily as anybody. And 3-0, certainly when you're down by 2 runs, you're going to take the pitch. But if it is such a mistake to be timid against, an outstanding hitter, because then you're going to give him a situation that he's hitting 3-1, 3-2, 2-0. He's hitting every situation. Bobby Cox not happy the way the calls last inning, not happy with that one. Certainly he wants to get the time run to the plate.
Well, it's where it crosses the plate, but it looked low. Tap foul.
3-2 and threw him an off-speed pitch or a breaking ball. Was up, but Sheffield looking for it. You can see me, he was way out in front, looking for a fastball, I should say, and way out in front.
Nobody out, and the 3-2 pitch on the way. Rattled toward the hole, a diving stop. Wigginton's up, he throws, not in time, and it's an infield hit for Gary Sheffield. Despite a wonderful effort by Ty Wigginton laying out for it in the hole.
Well, they're playing very deep at third base. You can see how deep Wigginton is. He makes a fine play. And Sheffield with very good speed down the bases gets an infield single, but by playing the defense that deeply, obviously you might be able to cut balls off in the infield, but from going into the outfield, but you're so far away and have to make such a long throw, and a guy with any speed at all is going to be able to beat that kind of play out.
And some of that, when Sheffield's in the batter's box, as far as the third baseman playing so far back, is self-preservation. I mean, you want to keep your teeth. They put Freddie Gonzalez, their third base coach, practically into the 5th row in the stands when Sheffield hits. Andrew Jones 1 for 3 with a 4th inning double. Bounding ball, Wigginton gets to this. Throws to second, one. Sanchez throws, not in time. But a very nice effort by Ray Sanchez trying for the double play. Went airborne over Sheffield and did not get the runner at first.
Just a little bit of a juggle right there by Ty Wigginton, and did not make a good throw to Sanchez at second base. And unable to turn the double play, but most importantly, get the lead out and for sure get 1 out. Get that first out on the board. A chance for that double play to take you out of an inning.
That play at first base was a lot closer than it should have been. Sanchez skipped it over there and almost got him. So 1 down, and here's Franco. Julio Franco has struck out, walked, and singled. Both of Franco's home runs this year have come against the Mets, both of them coming off of Tom Glavine. High chopper. Reyes with it to second, got the out on the first, double play. So they had 2 cracks of the double play, did it there. 6-4-3 to retire the side. And that's the 7th inning after 7. 5-3 the Mets. A good one going here in Atlanta. The Mets with a 5-3 lead over the Braves as Jason Phillips climbs in. Facing the left-hander from Seoul, Korea. And the first pitch is hammered toward left center field, hit deep, racing back. Andrew Jones turning around now, and it's gone. A home run. Jason Phillips, number 6. And it's 6 runs now for the Mets. They have doubled up the Braves 6-3. A leadoff home run in the 8th. That's one of the best swings he's taken all year.
Well, that's a leadoff first pitch fastball hitting, getting fastball home run right there. You go up there and you might catch a pitcher who is asleep, doesn't know that you're a dead first ball fastball hitter. And what did he get? He got a fastball about letter high and then right over that left center field wall. You see, Andrew Jones going after it. You know it's a home run when he starts trotting.
He slows up.
He's either got it or it's gone. One of the two. Now take a look at the pitch. Fastball right down, well, just about belt high. Over that Braves sign, the anniversary sign in left center field, and all of a sudden again a 3-run ball game.
Well, Jason came in hitting .315. Over the last month, he's been one of the hottest hitters in baseball. It was his first hit of the day. That's exactly what you want to see more of from Jason Phillips, particularly when he's playing first base today, doing the catching. One ball and one strike on Gonzalez, who swings and misses. So the Mets getting 2 runs in the 3rd, 3 in the 5th, another run here in the 8th. And they've pushed it to a 3-run advantage. New York has lost 6 in a row to Atlanta in back-to-back series, but looking to avoid a 4-game sweep. Tony Clark's really helped today. He's on deck, and he has a pair of hits, and he's drawn a walk. Nobody out in the 2-2. Line stiff into left field for a base hit. So Bong not fooling anybody. These first couple of hitters, Phillips and Gonzalez, have tattooed him.
Mets pretty much have their hitting shoes on here today. They've had some good swings and some good pitches. Good piece of hitting right there by Gonzalez. Line drive to left field. Part of the lineup you're talking about, David, has done a fine job. 6, 7, 8. How about Clark and McEwen?
Tony Clark perfect so far. A pair of singles and a walk. He scored 2 runs. Mishandled by Blanco, and that will allow Gonzalez to move up 90 feet.
Well, the Atlanta Braves today don't look like the ball club with the best winning percentage in baseball. Leo Mazzoni and Bobby Cox, the manager there, you saw left to right. This team, I mean, they're phenomenal numbers that they have so far. They're winning every 2 out of 3 ball games. Took a look at it again. Kind of a lazy play by Blanco, and a not very good pitch by Bong, the pitcher. Amazing numbers, and you look at the Braves against the division in the East. I mean the West and the Central. Now look at this. Against the Central and the West, they're 29-8. 29-8.
This is the best any Braves team has ever been after 96 games. But they haven't looked at today. They've made 3 errors.
They're pretty sloppy today.
And it's 2-0 on Clark with a runner in scoring position. The lefty comes in and hits his mark. Al Leiter went the first 5 innings today for the Mets. He is in line for the W as he came off the DL, making his first start since June 29th. He went on the disabled list because of that inflamed knee on July 7th. So there's some excellent pitches today, and particularly the first couple of innings, he was throwing 93.
And the ball ripped very well. Mechanics look good, timing looked good, legs look good, strength looked good. Ahead of his hitters, real sharp cutter inside of those right-handers. I think the Mets are very pleased with his performance, and he should be with his performance as well.
Ball 4 to Clark. He's on for the 4th time. Baseball is such a funny game. Yesterday, Clark could not buy his way to first base. He was 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. today on base all 4 times. And here's Timo. First and second, nobody out. Timo, a .276 hitter with a pair of home runs. He's driven in 19. Franco and Castilla pinching in on the corners. It's bunted toward third. Castilla waved off the pitcher. And on the sacrifice, now runners are at second and third.
Nice job by Timo Perez. Move the runners up to second and third. A run in already in the inning. Lead off first pitch home run by Jason Phillips, and Art Howe trying to get another run. And you can't, another 2 runs hopefully he would like to get. And you certainly cannot second guess this move right there. The Atlanta Braves, they will score a ton and can score a ton of runs, and the Mets would like to lengthen their 6-3 lead here. Good job by Timo Perez, getting high fives and high fists all around on the Met bench.
Ray Sanchez has had 1 at bat today, but it was a good one, a base hit in the 7th. The infield is tugged in now for Atlanta. That's outside for ball 1. Fundamentally, with the exception of that glaring base running mistake in the first inning, and it was 2 base running mistakes in the same play by Reyes and Duncan. Aside from that piece of embarrassment, the Mets have played very good fundamental baseball.
The exception of David Weathers as well, who had a tough time
Weathers,
today.
yep.
Weathers had a tough time. But I mean, if in the first inning it was a couple of kids, and if it's going to happen, it's almost as we said, great. Let those things happen. Great thing about it, if you can make mistakes and win a ball game, you win a ball game and you got a chance to learn something. You've almost got a double scoop of ice cream there. There are 2 things you benefit from.
Are you a double scoop guy?
Absolutely.
I know I am. Yeah.
Absolutely. Trained well by my daughters.
Chocolate chip, Tom.
I'll write that down over here for you.
Thank you very much. The 1-1 up high. Second and third occupied, 1 away. And a base hit here by Sanchez. Not to say Atlanta can't come back. Everybody knows their lineup might be the best in the National League. St. Louis would have a pretty good argument with you over that point, but they can certainly come back. But base hit here could make it 8-3. Just about put it out of range. 3-1. So a great count for Ray Sanchez here.
3-1. He's not even close to the strike zone. Not even close. He's missing by 3 feet. Against the hitter of Sanchez, I mean, yes, he got a base hit last time up, but he said he just barely over the 200 mark, and they're going to end up walking him. You're not going to see that very often. I mean, intentional base on balls to load the bases, the 1 out, try to get a double play again. The second time the Braves have done this is load the bases for Jose Reyes, thinking you're going to be able to get a double play.
The second intentional pass of Ray Sanchez this year. Did you see where? This is amazing. Nomar Garciaparra has not been intentionally walked all year.
You have thunder from top to bottom of that lineup. What are you going to gain? That's the other
Pick
part.
your
But
poison,
you've got to be
right?
someplace where you set up the double play in there.
Reyes came up with a 2-run double in the 3rd inning. Hammers that one toward the hole and through for a base hit, a seeing eye single. Gonzalez is in. They get 1 run out of that single. But it's a 3 RBI day for the rookie, Jose Reyes. That makes it 7-3.
Well, a 3 RBI day, and he is hitting the ball on the ground, which is great to see if you have the luxury of having a player that can run the way that Reyes can. Here he goes after that first pitch. Fastball down right in the hole between short and third. And they come up in left field. They were actually going to give the Mets the run. Tony Clark coming around first base. The left fielder Bragg did not. He was not going to throw to home plate. Matt Galante held up the runner at third.
With 1 out, bases are jammed again.
How ironic in the sense of the top of the first inning, you've got Jose Reyes and Jeff Duncan who make mistakes, and look at the kind of day that they're potentially having here today.
Almost a big day for Jeff.
We're talking about about mistakes and learning from your mistakes. The base running mistakes, the 2 of them made in the first inning, and all of a sudden Reyes has come back, 3 RBIs. Duncan had that 2 RBI, 2-strike base hit in the 5th inning. He's been on base a couple of times, actually 3 times. Base hit and a couple of walks.
Those memories are fading from that awful first inning play pretty quickly.
But the lessons hopefully are not.
Yeah, I think the lesson will stick. But the bad taste in the mouth is fading away pretty quickly.
This makes for a much shorter flight as well.
0-1 on Duncan, the kid out of Arizona State, and that's under the elbow. 1 ball and 1 strike. You were talking about yesterday how Brett Butler was brought in as an instructor and a coach in spring training for the Mets. Really took to Duncan. He was raving about him. He said basically he's got 5 tools. You'd like to see a little more power perhaps, but he can hit, he can run. There's not a lot he can't do. Now being given the chance to play every day in center field for the Mets. And with that batting average of .346, he's jumping on the opportunity. He's 24 years old. Left-hand hitter from Frankport, Illinois, and he takes up high for another ball. 3-1. So this is where it has to happen.
Well, Bong is behind everybody, and when he misses the plate, he misses by a mile. Bobby Cox over there saying, well, get yourself out of it, kid. I'm not going to burn up my pitching staff.
Outside, and he walks in a run. So it's also a 3 RBI day for Jeff Duncan, as that pitch forces in Tony Clark and makes it 8-3 the Mets. And Bobby Cox can't wait anymore. He's got Ray King available in the bullpen, and he's going to make the move now as part of a double switch. Cox will bring in a new first baseman as well. So the Mets, for the second time in the last 4 innings, have put up 3 runs in a frame. They lead it 8-3, and we'll be back in a moment.
There's a new name.
Sharon? Sharon! Sharon!
In daytime.
Sharon! 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 Go, girl! Go, Sharon!
The Sharon Osbourne Show premieres September 15th.
I just love that man.
Only on the WB11.
Hey, baseball fans. Only MLB.com takes you straight from the ballpark to your computer. So don't miss a second of the action. Check out MLB.com, the only place for live baseball online. Get live games with MLB.tv and game day audio. See live stats with MLB.com's unique game day feature. For fans who just can't get enough of the game, MLB.com, the official site for all things baseball, the #1 site for Major League Baseball fans.
Couple of changes for Bobby Cox as he puts Matt Franco into the ball game at first, a double switch. The new pitcher is Ray King, the lefty. And Ed Almonte will step in with the bases loaded. The pitcher will hit for himself here. And 3 runs in for the Mets, who lead it 8-3 in Atlanta. So Almonte hitting for the first time. And a 5-run lead for New York. First pitch pumped in there for strike 1. King had a rough outing here on Friday, even though the Mets would fall to Atlanta in that the second game of the series. Atlanta has not swept New York, has not swept the Mets in a 4-game series since 1965, 38 years ago. And it does not look like they're going to do it today. That one chopped along the line, but a foul ball just off the chalk. And that would have cleaned off at least 2 for Almonte.
Almonte has not looked very comfortable up there, but I mean by a fraction of an inch. He just misses a couple of RBIs. Larry Young right on top of that ball, bouncing down that first baseline. If he did a couple of RBIs when he got the National League, you'd cut that box score out of the newspaper, wouldn't you?
That and every other newspaper you get your hands on.
Absolutely.
You have friends sending them to you from other parts of the country. 1 down, and the 1-2. Now 2-2. Now, Atlanta has allowed 10 hits and 8 runs to a Met team playing without a lot of big bats today. Obviously, Cliff Floyd, who did not start and is listed as day-to-day. Over the head of King for a call, steps on second for one, on to first, the double play. Fortuitous for Atlanta. However, the Braves also give up 3 runs, and the Mets expand that lead to 8-3 going to the bottom of the 8th. Ed Almonte just had his first major league at bat moments ago. Is back to the top of the anthill here as we go to the bottom of the 8th. 8-3. The Mets out in front of 36,029.
What did you call my office? I mean, my previous office. Did you try to slip that by me?
The anthill? The old anthill?
Anthill. Is that what you called that thing?
I kind of like that reference.
That's my office for 20 years out there. You're referring to it as an anthill?
Well, it's one. When you were on the mound, it was hallowed ground.
No, I'm not buying it. No wiggling right now.
It's not an anthill when Tom Seaver towed the slab back in the antebellum days. But Almonte working to Vinny Castilla here, and then Henry Blanco, the scheduled hitter. And one rattled foul. 10 hits for the Mets on this day, including a home run by Jason Phillips. He mashed that one to begin the 8th inning. Castilla with an RBI, also has a single. The RBI came on a sacrifice in the 4th inning. That one hit fair. Made by Wigginton. The throw is offline though, but a fine play made by Wigginton just to get to it. It'll be a base hit for Vinny Castilla.
Almost a fine play there by Ty Wigginton. A long throw. Castilla runs fairly well and actually ends up in the grass behind the infield cut. And yes, maybe if it had been right on target, might have gotten the runner. He's still back in foul territory, as a matter of fact. Nope, got to be a base hit, obviously.
A strike on Henry Blanco, 1 for 3 with an RBI double. The Mets are headed to Philadelphia in game 1 of a quick 2-game series on Monday. Aaron Heilman taking on Brandon Duckworth. Aaron looking for that first win. He's 0-2. Almonte's 1-1 pitch fouled off the end of the bat. Well, the Mets have not had to deal at all with Chipper Jones today. Out of the lineup for the 2nd consecutive day, held out by Bobby Cox because of that wrist problem he has. And he re-aggravated that wrist injury with a swing late in Friday's game. Fouled back out of play. Did you see Chipper's comments today in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution?
No, I missed it.
He said that of Tom Glavine's departure from the Braves. He said, I don't think anybody expected Tommy to be anywhere but Atlanta. I never thought they'd trade Dale Murphy or David Justice. And he said, my day's coming too. I might as well get prepared for it. Chipper Jones. Line drive, foul.
I did read that.
Caught your attention, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. When he got to the part, of, my day's coming too, and I went, whoop, whoa, hold on here. Put the brakes on here.
Chipper, after this season, has 3 years left on a 6-year deal. He'll make $14 million next year, $15 million in 05, $17 in 06.
With some buyout clauses, etc.
Yep, he's got some options, yeah.
He's not going to have to look for winter employment, let's put it that way.
Yeah. Or money for new shoes.
Yeah.
Base hit, poked the other way by Henry Blanco. Castilla moves up to second. Back-to-back singles here in the 8th for Atlanta.
Got a second. Take a look at our defensive jam brought to you by your Acura dealers as Gary Sheffield led off the inning. Back in the 7th in a fine play, but did not get him at first. And then potential double play with a loose grip. And beat that out. But then, again, look at this one. Snappy right here. And a double play ends it to stop the rally in the 7th inning. At our Acura defensive gem of the afternoon here in Atlanta. Vern Rule out to talk to Almonte, get him organized. What do we want to see? What do we want to get? 2 men on and nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And well, I'm telling you, the Mets would like to salvage something out of this. They have had a rough road. They've lost 9 out of 10 to these 2 top running ball clubs in this division. Get out of here with a win and a flight up to Atlanta. I mean, excuse me, up to Philadelphia. From Atlanta, obviously. Makes for a much shorter plane flight.
Runners on at first and second. And Darren Bragg is crouching in the batter's box. Matt Franco will hit next. First pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. Al Leiter, today's starter, can be 9-5 at the end of the day, as he came off the disabled list to pitch 5 good innings, allowing 3 hits, couple of runs, struck out 5. It's been on the bullpen ever since. Rattled foul by Bragg, and it's 0-2. So whatever Vern Rule came out to say may have had the desired effect as you look at Mike Stanton working. Had a brisk 1-2-3 inning yesterday, Stanton did. David Weathers and Graham Lloyd have also pitched in this one. Here comes the 0-2 to Bragg. Reaches out, pokes a single into right. Castillo into third. They're going to wave him around. And that run is going to come on in to score. That makes it 8-4. Bragg lunging out and just getting enough of the bat on it to cause it to drift into right for an RBI single.
Not hit it well, but certainly hitting the right spot. Pretty good pitch. Sinker down and away in the outside corner, and a little bloop out into right field. A runner at first base sees that it's going to fall in, and boy, this is a ball club. They can't put points on the board, and we are turning the lineup, going back to the top of the lineup for Atlanta Braves, and it ain't over till it's over, as Yogi would say, and especially when you've got the kind of offense that these Atlanta Braves have.
Yogi ever say that to you?
No, he didn't say that to me, but it was inferred a couple of times through some of his second lieutenants.
Those weren't written orders, though. I mean, it was an inference. It was just kind of like a glance. And, hey, you know, Tom, it ain't over till it's over.
What time is it? You mean right now? And I heard that one, too.
You did hear that?
I heard the first version of that right there.
You mean right now?
Yeah. And the question was asked from Gil Hodges as he got on the bus in spring training. What time is it, Yogi? And Yogi looked up and said, right now? There was a confused look on the bus.
I'll bet, yeah. Well, that's going to do it for Almonte. 2 on here and a run in. The Braves are threatening in Atlanta. Well, the sunshine is just starting to fade here at Turner Field in Atlanta. A hot Sunday with 36,029 have gathered to see the Mets currently leading 8-4 over the Atlanta Braves, but the hits are now even at 10 after 3 consecutive singles to begin the bottom of the 8th. That brings on Mike Stanton, who is 2-3 with a 4.37 ERA.
Yeah, and Stanton making his 28th appearance for the Mets, 22 innings, 19 hits. Way back off that disabled list, and it is not easy. You turn this lineup, and they're going to pinch hit in that number 9 spot. So you get Javi Lopez, then you get Furcal, DeRosa, Sheffield Jones, Franco. I mean, it just doesn't get any easier here.
Yeah, they had one of their 7 All-Stars, Javi Lopez, on the bench today. Until now, some pretty serious thunder. Bobby Cox can pull off the pine. 23 home runs for Lopez. Nobody out, 2 on, and a run in for Atlanta. Down and in for ball 1. Stanton becoming the 4th relief pitcher to work for Art Howe today. Al Leiter went the first 5. Blanco and Bragg are on, and that's outside. 2-0. Swinging a high fly ball into left. Perez backing up, backing up, backing up. It is gone. It's a one-run game in the 8th inning. Javi Lopez off the bench. A pinch hit, 3-run homer. 8-7 New York. They can hit the long ball with anybody in the game, can't they?
Well, you're talking about the #1 team in the National League with home runs, the Atlanta Braves, and the home run bat has been quiet so far today. A little slider down and in, and right on top of it is Javi Lopez. This ball club first in the National League in home runs, and another base hit. No.
That one gets by and into right field for Call heading into second. He's not slowing down. He's heading into third. The throw won't get him. For Call, just an absolute blur from home to third on a bunt. And they have the tying run at third base with nobody out.
A great play by Furcal. That's got to be a base hit. And he sees the ball rolling into right field. It just keeps on going and makes it easily to third base in front of his coach, Freddie Gonzalez.
So now the infield in for the Mets, who lead it 8-7. But you can just feel it coming on here in Atlanta. It's a base hit for Furcal and a 2-base throwing error to get him down to third. The Braves have struck for 4 runs here in the 8th. Into the dirt, blocked by Phillips. All it takes now is a fly ball of medium depth. And Atlanta will tie this game.
From the middle of the lineup with no outs.
DeRosa, the hitter, Gary Sheffield on deck. Furcal at third. And it's all coming undone here in the Atlanta Sun. The 2-0 fouled away. Look who's warming up. John Smoltz, the #1 closer in baseball, who about 15 minutes ago didn't think there'd be any need for his services today.
You know, the other part of this, maybe he did, sitting out there and said, listen, we're winning 2 out of 3 ball games, and we're playing at home with this record that we have at home. They'll figure out a way.
Pretty good rip there.
What a swing right there by DeRosa. Holy mackerel. I mean, right on it, just fouled it back. Got a fastball up at chest high. Oh, man.
Mike Stanton, whose career started in Atlanta. That's where he came to prominence as a relief pitcher for the first time. Trying to hold on here with nobody out and a tying run at third in the bottom of the 8th. Base hit, we're tied. Here comes Furcal romping home. It's an 8-8 tie in Atlanta. That's the 6th consecutive hit by the Atlanta Braves, and still nobody out.
It has been an infield hit by Castilla, Blanco single, Bragg single, home run by Lopez, butt single by Furcal, and that one right there ties the ball game for DeRosa. His 14th RBI of the year, and a big one here, this game #4 in Atlanta.
Well, you can just feel it coming on. Sheffield takes it inside for ball 1.
Could smell it, couldn't you? And part of this, you got to tip your hat, certainly, in a professional level, these Atlanta Braves, they never quit. They believe they can win every game when they put on that uniform, walk on the field.
They begin to chant for Sheffield, who chops a foul. Gary has walked twice today. He's also singled. He's a free agent at the end of the year. He says that he will negotiate his own contract. He will represent himself. Will that be to return to Atlanta? He's been making friends and influencing people all spring and summer here in Atlanta. Will it be enough to influence that man to re-sign him? 24 home runs for Sheffield. Flies that one into right center field, but that should be caught. Gonzalez makes the catch. Not this time for Sheffield. That's the first out here in the bottom of the 8th. More trouble lurking now. Here comes Andrew Jones. Jones with a double in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 4. Atlanta has rallied to score 5 times here in the bottom of the 8th. And they've tied it at 8 apiece. Jones with a home run yesterday. 24 of them for the season. To the all-star center fielder.
Got a good one.
I think you just heard the voice of Bobby Cox down there warning his team, and of course Bobby knows firsthand that Mike Stanton has a good move. So you heard him say there on the microphone close to the dugout, he's got a good one.
Oh yeah, that's Bobby Cox. We've also heard him bark at the umpire a couple times too down there.
DeRosa leading at first. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Inside. 2 balls, no strikes. The Braves have another showdown with the Chicago Cubs starting tomorrow night right here at Turner Field. They're looking to have a 4-game sweep of the Mets behind them going up against the Cubs. Lined into left for a base hit. DeRosa moves up to second. And the go-ahead run is in scoring position now for the Braves. And Marcus Giles will be the hitter. Another all-star. 286, 8 home runs. Did not start today after getting back in the lineup for the first time since before the All-Star break yesterday. He was 0 for 4. This is his first start since that pre-All-Star collision with Mark Pryor of the Cubs, in which he suffered a concussion and whiplash. Pryor got pretty banged up too. Giles becomes the 9th Atlanta hitter in the bottom of the 8th. They have 7 hits in this frame. First pitch is ball 1. Two on, 1 out in the pitch. Base hit up the middle. Here comes DeRosa rounding third. He is in to score, and Atlanta has the lead. Do you believe that? An RBI single by Marcus Giles, and the Braves go from 8-3 down to having taken the lead here in the 8th, 9-8.
There's no way you could even write this the way this inning has evolved against the New York Mets. A ball just out of the reach of Jose Reyes, the runner from second base, heading for home DeRosa. Everybody in this lineup so far, you can't buy a break for Mike Stanton or anybody, and you can't make a pitch, and it's a bad combination. Somewhere, somehow, somebody's going to have to hit one right at somebody, and it hasn't happened. Somewhere, somehow, you're going to have to make a pitch and get yourself a double play. The Mets just have not been able to do it. an awful, ugly inning for the Mets here in the bottom of the 8th. They've given up a 6th spot, and they've coughed up the lead.
Feliciano getting ready to pitch. But 6 runs in for Atlanta. They're on top now, 9-8. An inning that began innocently enough with a Vinny Castilla base hit, then a Henry Blanco base hit, then another single, followed by a 3-run homer. Stanton is going to remain in for now. The 3-run homer by Lopez. Javi Lopez coming off the bench. But Rafael Furcal had a huge hit too with that bunt single. And then the error on the pitcher allowing him to get over to third base. DeRosa drove him in with his RBI single. And the hits just keep on coming for the Braves. Here's Vinny Castilla batting for the 2nd time in the inning.
He started it all off too, an infield single. There's that long throw from third base that Ty Wigginton was actually in the outfield grass in foul territory. No way to get him, but that was all the start of this horrendous inning for the Mets.
It's softly. Sanchez boots it. Here comes another run in. Andrew Jones scores. It's 10-8 Atlanta. So even on ground balls where outs should be made, the Mets can't make the play. And it costs them.
Well, let's see if it's going to be a base hit or an error. It looked like they'd both either hit the edge of the grass or the dirt and caused a bad hop to Sanchez. A ball that certainly would have been a double play and at least stop the bleeding in this inning for the Mets. But it has turned into one horrendous inning here in Atlanta for New York.
If it is ruled a hit, it'll be the 9th. But it has been ruled an error, and here comes Art Howe. So Vinny Castilla reaches again, this time on an E4. That'll do it for Stanton. 7 runs in here in the bottom of the 8th inning for the Braves. We'll be right back here at Turner Field in Atlanta in a moment. Mike Stanton lifted as Atlanta has roared back to take a 10-8 lead. This is the most hits the Met pitching staff has allowed in any inning this year. A total of 8. 7 runs. Feliciano will try and stop it. But there's only 1 out with Braves on the corners for Blanco. He takes inside for ball 1. This is the 5th time this year, incidentally, the Mets have allowed 7 runs in a single inning. They have not allowed as many as 8. But that's very much in jeopardy here with Blanco at the plate. He's 2 for 4. Quite a turnaround, but Atlanta capable of this and more. The #1 home run hitting team in the majors, and a huge blow in this inning. A 3-run homer by Javi Lopez coming off of Bobby Cox's bench. A strike, 2-1.
You know the ironic thing about this? Who's made the out in the inning?
Gary Sheffield.
The #3 hitter.
He flew to right.
He flew to right field. The big bopper in the middle of the lineup, in the #3 spot, made the out. He's the only one that hasn't scored. He and I guess Giles hasn't scored, but he's not very far away.
And Giles over there at third base. Sheffield's made the only out in the inning. Yeah, that is something.
Somebody will walk over there to Sheffield and say, well, what have you done for us lately?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get you home on time for dinner on Sunday is what I'm trying to do.
He did plenty Friday night, going 5 for 5 with 2 homers. The 3-1 pitch. Hit hard, another base hit. And another run in, make it an 8-run inning as Giles touches home. It's 11-8. They may not even need Smoltz today. Blanco with his 3rd hit in the game and his 2nd in the inning. He has 2 RBIs this afternoon. So that's 8 runs against the Mets staff, the most New York has allowed in an inning here in 2003. Here's Darren Bragg. He came up with a hit near the top of this inning. He takes a strike. So it's 11 runs on 16 hits for the Braves. 8 runs on 10 hits for the Mets. The Mets came into the inning leading 8-3. Came into the bottom of the 8th up by 5.
This one is not going to be easy for the Mets to get over. They don't bounce back in the half of the 9th inning. This is tough. They come in here, they get thumped to 3 games, lost 6 in a row to the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta Braves, best team, best record in baseball. I mean, whether you're young, old, or indifferent, or have hitting 300, hitting 200, you still want to feel like you belong in the big leagues. And there's some very tender psyches out there right now on that field. I mean, this is, so far, it's been, in this inning, obviously, a game of men against boys right here. And you wonder, what does Jose Reyes think? What do these Duncan think when they look at this? They go, holy mackerel. How, what you don't want to sneak in their minds. You don't want this to ever creep in there. How is our club going to compete against a club like this? Don't ever and we talked about this a lot, David, about, well, should Reyes be at this situation? Should Duncan be? Or they learn at the big league level? Yes, in some cases, no, in some cases. And this is probably the biggest reason why not. Because of self-doubt that you can put in their minds. How in the world am I ever going to play against this kind of team? Am I ever going to be able to be this good? I mean, and that's to me, it's a very valid point to protect not only the learning development of physically, but the psychological development of these young players. This is going to be a tough one right here.
Bragg taking ball 4. That'll load up the bases. He the 12th man to hit in the inning.
Take a second here. Look at the GM turning point of the game, and well, there are a whole bunch up here in this 8th inning. The one that's counted the most has been Javi Lopez, and well, when nobody could get any of the Braves out, he simply walked up there and hit the ball out of the ballpark. We're a 3-run home run at that point. Well, there've been so many runs. I guess at that point it put him down by a run, and they've had nothing but more runs since. And look at the situation that he is in now.
Well, he already has 3 RBIs in the inning. Now he hits with the bases loaded, and he went for it there. He was trying to pick up 7 RBIs in the 8th inning on July 20.
Yeah, man, he's guessing fastball and got an off-speed pitch from Feliciano.
Atlanta in front 11-8. Incredible. Fouled away, a little cue shot up the first base line, and it's 0-2. Tell you what, for the Met defense, they have been out there, feels like about an hour, with the length of this inning and all the runs and all the hits. Met pitching staff has surrendered 9 hits in this frame. And Lopez looking for his 2nd hit in this inning. Atlanta, it would appear, can overcome a day in which their pitching staff was not very good at all, giving up 8 runs, 10 hits so far, and a day in which their defense has made 3 errors, and yet they lead it in the 8th inning by 3 runs. 1-2. It's been exactly 38 years since the Braves last pulled off a 4-game sweep of the Mets. July of 1965. They're trying to do it again today. He fouls that one off the end of the bat. Still 1-2.
Steady diet off-speed pitches right here, and Lopez has been out in front of every one of them. Luciano says, yeah, well, I saw you hit that fastball out of here or something hard. Either fastball or slider hit it out of here before. Give you nothing but off-speed stuff. I'm in an 8 spot in, and the Mets still have to get 2 more outs to get out of the inning.
Feliciano from the stretch. Here's the 1-2 again, and it missed inside. All even 2-2. Lopez, the 13th Brave to bat in the bottom of the 8th.
Makes for an ugly scorecard, doesn't it?
Mine's about unreadable, but you usually accuse me that of anyway.
Well, yeah,
even on a good day.
Yours would be unreadable in a no perfect game, no hit, no hit perfect game, for crying out loud. That was called after 5 on account of rain.
Bases loaded, just the 1 out. Hit hard but foul. Lopez is not content to have just 3 RBIs in this inning.
I marked down the runs in an inning with a little red pen as opposed to my trusty blue pen where I just get the base hits and the E's and the hits and 6-3s and F9s and all that stuff. A lot of red chicken marks in the 8th inning of this ball game on the Atlanta side. A lot of crooked numbers too in red ink. Been a long time since I've seen an inning like this.
On it. But you suspected it. Here's the 2-2.
You could smell it, couldn't you? It is. It's incredible that you. Maybe you can't because the viewers in New York, they're 1,500 miles away or however far it is from Atlanta to the New York metropolitan area. But here, it's almost body language from this ball club talking about the Atlanta Braves. A club that has won 2 out of 3 ball games that they've played. Every 2 out of 3 that they played this year, best percentage in Major League Baseball so far. You just had a feeling.
Now, it was palpable. He tried to check, could not, and that's a strikeout. And so Lopez is disposed of after his earlier heroics. He fans. 2 down.
Well, off-speed stuff. Breaking ball there, totally fooled. So a 3-run home run and a strikeout for Lopez in this inning. And don't forget, he came out as a pinch hitter. I don't know if he's happy with 3 RBIs or was he greedy.
Good hitters are always greedy. Here's for call. He has singled in this inning already and scored a run. They are still loaded as he takes up and away for ball 1.
One of the smartest plays that I've seen all year was right after the 3-run home run from Lopez. And then Furcal bunts the ball. Catches everybody by surprise. Ends up on third base.
That'll end the carnage. Out number 3. But 14 men come to bat. 8 runs score for the Braves. They lead it 11-8. Let's take a listen now to the reception the Braves got when they headed back out onto the diamond after that explosion. Here's John Smoltz looking for his 36th save. Fouled right back and a pretty good rip by Ty Wigginton. But the Mets heads have to be spinning after giving up 8 runs, 9 hits. Lopez with a 3-run homer.
14 hitters in the inning.
Incredible. Incredible. And the Mets held an 8-3 lead going into the bottom of the 8th. That is gone and then some. 11-8 Atlanta. The pitch to Wigginton, cut on and missed.
Yeah, this is for my money the best in the business right here, John Smoltz. I mean, overpowering fastball. Got 3 pitches he can throw for strikes and 3 pitches he can strike you out on. His 100th save of his career yesterday.
Wigginton puts it in play to charge by Castilla. Tough play, scooped, not in time. Safe at first base, Ty Wigginton. So he beats it out for his 2nd single. He's 2 for 5.
Well, Wigginton had a base hit single and an RBI in the 5th inning, and he gets another infield single here. Good play by Castilla. If the throw is right on the mark, he gets him, but short hop. And remember, we talked about this man right here, Castilla, as good as there is in the business at third base. And I'm not so sure that he wasn't out at first, but good hustle nonetheless by Ty Wigginton going down that line, trailing by 3 runs here in the 9th.
They've moved DeRosa over to first base. Marcus Giles staying in the game as the second baseman for Bobby Cox. Jason Phillips, he hammered a home run in the 8th. And another one here would make it absolutely fascinating at Turner Field. 36,029 on hand. 100 saves and 151 relief appearances. Set the record for fewest relief games to reach 100 saves. John Smoltz at the century mark. 55 strikeouts in 47 2/3 innings. And he has walked just 7. Up the middle for Call. Steps to second. 2 down. The double play. 6-3, and there are 2 gone in the 9th.
Well, these last 2 innings are not going to be the favorites for the Mets. I mean, that's batting practice, infield practice, double play right there. And you got to do it against John Smoltz. It's not even remotely fair.
From the windup, hit toward the alley. Andrew Jones pulls up awkwardly, and it almost bounced by him. He has not looked Gold Glove smooth out there in center field today. And so still a pulse for the Mets with a runner at first base after the single by Raul Gonzalez. Tony Clark has yet to be retired. He's walked twice and singled twice.
I think Gonzalez was not Gonzalez, but Andrew Jones was fooled by that ball coming off the bat there. I thought it was hit harder than it was. I'll hit it out at the end of the bat, and it just died when it got to the infield.
First pitch swinging, popped up. Andrew says he has it in the alley. And that catch caps an amazing comeback by the Atlanta Braves as they score 8 runs on 9 hits in the bottom of the 8th inning. They win it, and they sweep the Mets in a 4-game series for the first time in 38 years. Taxi is coming up next. In progress for Keith and Tom. I'm Dave O'Brien. Thanks for joining us from Atlanta. Good night, everybody.